The Chicago Blackhawks have lost 7 in a row, and no easy test for them tonight. They meet one of the hottest teams in the league. Hello again, everybody. Pat Foley and Dale Talon from the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. The Penguins have 5 wins and a tie in their last 6 games. They've moved to the top of their division. What's even scarier, Dale, I think the fact that Pittsburgh going well, while their big gun Mario Lemieux in a mini slump, at least for him.
Well, that's true. They've got some quality players now besides Lemieux. If they shut down Lemieux, they've got Brown, they've got Dan Quinn, and those two fellas are having excellent years. Brown with 24 goals all season last year, and Dan Quinn has got a 9-game scoring streak with 14 points, 7 goals, and 7 assists. So they've got more depth than they've ever had. So when a guy like Lemieux, it does go through a slump, or when he's injured a bit, other guys can pull up the slack. And I think the fact that Coffey is healthy and he's been playing on some winning clubs is starting to rub off on the other players, and they're starting to feel confident, and they don't feel they've played their best hockey in the last 6 games. They feel that Brasso's held them in there, and that they're looking for bigger and better things. If they start to play well, if everything's going at all cylinders, they'll be a real strong team to contend with.
The Blackhawks were in the Tom Barrasso Derby. Buffalo was shopping him around. He wound up here in Pittsburgh, and I think that showed this team that the management was committed to going for it. Well,
they really, especially after the first couple of games that Barrasso played, I believe he let in 13 goals in his first 2 games, and Tony Esposito must have been pulling his hair out with whatever's left of it. But he's really come on of late. In the last 10 games, the Penguins have been outshot by a wide margin by every club they played against, at least 12.5 shot differential. That's something that we've been used to. The Hawks have been getting outshot by everyone else. So I expect these two teams are going to really try to play it close to the vest for the first part of the game and see what happens, and then rely on special teams. But the key, obviously, shut down Coffey and Lemieux, and the rest should look after itself.
The Blackhawks struggling along with 3 wins on the road so far this year. One of their brighter spots among the youngsters has been a guy that started the year in Saginaw recovering from a broken ankle.
I think the fact that he broke his ankle might be a blessing in the long run, the chance for him to get into the International League in Saginaw, play with some confidence, get himself back in shape, instead of just throwing him into the fire as a first rounder like he has the last couple of years. I think he's got a little more confidence. The game in LA was very physical, got a goal and an assist, and it was one of the bright lights in that loss to the Kings. So if Everett Sanapas can continue to play that way, it really adds a little more dimension to the left wing. Steve Thomas, we know what he can do. Sanapas has to start kicking in offensively as well.
It's the Blackhawks and the Penguins. We'll come back with the lineups in a moment. The Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins had a tie their last time out in Boston. They came from behind to achieve that point, and prior to that, Pittsburgh winning 5 straight. The Penguins with an excellent home record of 11 wins and 2 losses. So all the numbers going Pittsburgh's way. In fact, Dale, turning on the TV today, watching some of the local sportscasts, they've already racked up the 2 points. The Hawks coming in here with the worst record in the league, and everybody pretty well counting on the 2 points that the Penguins are going to get tonight.
Well, headlines in the sports page are talking about the fact that the degree of difficulty out of 1 to 100, they rated this as a .01. I would use that article. I would have had that pinned up in the bulletin board in the locker room and use that as a motivator.
The teams are getting ready. First, though, let's enjoy the anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Once again, Darren Pang looking for his 7th win, as well as the Blackhawks' 7th win. Pang faced 48 shots in that loss to Los Angeles on Saturday night. Had a good outing except for that 1 goal that Laidlaw put by him with a wrist shot from the blue line. And Tom Barrasso once again gets a start. He'll be the workhorse for this Pittsburgh Penguin club the rest of the year. This is his 8th appearance as a Penguin. 3.68 goals against average, 4 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. So that 3.68 goals against average has really been cut down dramatically after giving up, I think, 13 in his first 2 games.
Dan Maruelli is the referee tonight. The linesman Gord Brossiker and Dan McCourt. And here we go as the draw is dumped into the Pittsburgh zone. Thomas to the corner after it. He fought off one hit, then it's knocked loose back to center by Hannon. Doug Wilson has it there to Manson. Beating Graham, stepping around to check, trying to center one, hit a skate in front to Wilson, a blast. He fired it a couple of feet wide. And it caroms all the way back to center, where Thomas puts it in. Now Cunneyworth on the left wing boards, rolled it to center ice. Here come the Penguins, but Jay Caulfield turned around as he tried to advance it. Now in the neutral area, Hannon clearing to Coffey, steps around Eagles, cuts in, shoots, he scores! Paul Coffey at the 46-second mark blows it right between the legs of Pang. 1-0 Penguin.
Well, here we go again. Coffey just from a bad angle, but he's got such great speed. He catches up the play, just glides effortlessly. Gets around Eagles at the blue line, and he's to the left of the dot and just put it right through the legs of Pang. Coffey's a great player and a terrific shot, but he should never score from there. Right through the rings from a sharp angle shot.
Coffey from Hannon at 46 seconds. And hardly what Mike Keenan was hoping for. The Penguins off early. Here comes Rob Brown. Clearing for Lemieux. He's tied up. Brown covers at center. Now Bob Airy drops it back into his own end. Hilliard. His return pass is picked off. Dirk Graham slides it ahead, taken by Sutter. Dwayne Sutter shoots it in. Barrasso lays it to the left wing boards. And here come the Penguins. Lemieux, a nifty reception, put it over the line to Brown, back to Lemieux, right in, he scores! 2-0 after a minute and a half.
Mary Lemieux with a great pickup right in the neutral zone. Unbelievably, he's able to pick it up and then dump it back and get the return pass and put it through the legs of Darren Pang. Not a very good start for Pang. Lemieux with the pass, the return dump pass, and Lemieux gets his 25th one.
Rob Brown and Bob Airy get the assists at 128. And here, that's all for Pang. Darren Pang lifted after the first 2 shots go in the net. And I don't disagree with this at all.
Not really. You've got to get somebody in there that's hot, and Pang's confidence has got to be shaken. And you might as well. Goaltender knows he's not going to have a good night when the first 2 shots go in. It's amazingly how quickly this game can turn around. The Blackhawks in the first shift have a great chance. Doug Wilson misses the net. Penguins come back from a bad angle and through the legs of Pang, and all of a sudden, instead of maybe being 1-0 Chicago or 1-1, it's 2-0 Pittsburgh.
Jimmy Waite on for his 10th appearance of the year. His goals against an even 5 entering play tonight. 2-0 after a minute and a half. Here's Brown. Keith Brown dumping it in. Murray to the corner. Took a bump from Buskus. Now Thomas in behind, working against Cullen. John Cullen was the Rookie of the Month in November in the NHL. Now the Hawks try to hold it in and do. Barrasso put it to the right wing boards. Held in there. And finally captured by the Penguins. Phil Bork on left wing. Shooting it into the Hawk zone. Murray back for it. Lines it around to the near side. And taken at center by Zarley Zalapski. His pass is intercepted. Now Cullen got it back, shooting it in. Taken by Troy Murray. And clears it around the boards and winds up back in the Pittsburgh zone. And Zalapski overskates it, but Johnson is right there. Jim Johnson, long feed to Lemieux, putting Brown over the line against Wilson. He takes a dive and a penalty coming up here against Chicago. Rob Brown snuck behind everybody. You better not do that when Lemieux's on the ice, because he'll find him. 2-0 Pittsburgh, and the Penguins to the power play after this on Sports Vision and BBN.
Worse for the Blackhawks. Doug Wilson, as Brown had snuck in behind him, takes a dive. The first penalty of the game goes against the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks trailing 2-0 against a power play that's first overall with 47 power play goals.
And look out for Rob Brown on this Penguin power play. Brown with 16 goals out of his 24 on the power play. Here's a shot, hit the goal post. Brown nearly had another one. Now behind the net, Lemieux for Brown in the corner. Gave it back to Lemieux. Deep slot, Zalapski couldn't hold it, or he would have had a good chance. Now into the corner goes Brown. Rob Brown for Lemieux. To Brown, side of the net, cuts in front. Here's the shot. Quite the save. Rebound Noonan. Couldn't get it out. Came to the near side, Rob Brown. Brown bumped on the boards, and finally Noonan works it loose to center ice. Zalapski around Conroy to the corner, centered one, Brown, put it in front. Lemieux didn't get any wood on it. He had an open side. Now centering a shot, blocked by Conroy, and he cleared.
You can see why this power play is #1 overall. Tremendous talent on that first unit.
A minute remaining on this Pittsburgh power play. Here's a steal, though, by Troy Murray. Gave it to Conroy, and he clears. Here's Coffey, harassed, stolen by Savard. A backhander is blocked, and Cullen now cleared to Cunneyworth. His pass intercepted, but now Coffey got it back. Coffey cleared it over the line. Looked to be an offside play, but it continues. Here's a centering pass. In front, Lemieux rolled it to the slot. Hawks able to steal and clear. Boy, the Penguins haven't had in a minute and 45 of the power play. I don't think anybody's had the puck on his stick more than 3 seconds. They keep it moving. Here's Coffey looking to move in. He's turned around by Conroy, and Keith Brown clears it. That'll do it for the Hawk penalty. Both teams are back at full strength. Here's Coffey on the near side. Rolled it into the corner. Cunneyworth in behind for Lemieux. Mario to the deep slot. Coffey shoots. And Waite got a piece of that. Now Wilson. Cleared it to center. Here's Steve Thomas. Stopped by Coffey, who took it away to Cunneyworth. Ahead for Lemieux. That picked off nicely. Oh, the Hawks with too many men on the ice. Well, I think if Dave Manson, he stole the pass, he realized he was the sixth skater. I think if he'd have continued on, maybe he'd have gotten away with it, but he stole the puck, then tried to jump back on the bench. And another Hawk penalty is coming. 5 minutes into the game, it's Pittsburgh 2, Chicago nothing on Sports Vision and BBN.
Trying to make a quick pass. It's intercepted by Dave Manson, and Manson had jumped on the ice. No wonder it was intercepted, and then he realized the mistake and jumped back on. If he had continued on in the play, he might have gotten away with it.
Who was that guy, the famous play in the Rose Bowl where the guy was going for a touchdown and somebody jumped off the bench? So the Penguins were held off on their first power play chance, but not without some difficulty. Excellent chances. They crank it up again. Here's the draw. Quinn, Lemieux, and Brown are up in front for Pittsburgh. And here's Dan Quinn feeding Lemieux. He put it over the line to Bourque. Cuts right in. Here's the shot. He scores! Phil Bourque turned down the Jets. He blew right by everybody, and Waite was the last chance, and he fired it by him. It's 3-0 Pittsburgh.
What a big plus Bourque has been for this club. Played most of his career in the minor leagues. 52 total games in the NHL before this year. Quick little pass off the boards. He springs by and then muscles his way in through Waite, past Gianni, and through the legs of Waite. And it's 3-0 Pittsburgh with only 5 minutes and 18 seconds gone by in the first period.
Phil Bourque from Mario Lemieux and Dan Quinn at 5:18. So Lemieux in the first 5 minutes with a goal and an assist. Look out. There's the play into the Pittsburgh zone. Now at the line, it bounced away from Manson. Gave it to Sanapass. And to dump it back in, but hit Jim Johnson. And now on the offside play, the whistle sounds.
Well, the story of the whole road trip has been wrapped up in the first 5 minutes and 18 seconds of this first period. Untimely penalties, questionable goaltending, and that's been the story. The only game really the Hawks didn't have a chance in was the game in Boston. That was their worst performance, but all the other games they've had a chance to get a win or a tie in them, and a penalty, a bad penalty, and a bad goal here and there, and all of a sudden game is over.
Now the draw taken by the Hawks. Manson cleared it to Savard. He works it over the line into the slot, shoots one right on. Barrasso stopped it and leaves behind the goal, taken by Hannon. Hannon couldn't get it out. Here's Yanni. Put it back behind the Penguin net. Now Sanapass trying to center it. He just missed Larmer in front. And Jay Caulfield feeds Dave Hannon, who dumps it in. Manson back for it to the near side. Sanapass, who rolled it to center. Now bouncing loose to Trent Yanni. Yanni trying to shovel one ahead. Broken up at the Penguin line. Now Thomas dug it out of there. Steve Thomas's pass stolen by Dan Frawley. Frawley clearing it to the Chicago zone. Now it's shot back to center. Graham stopped as he came to the line. Followed up by Troy Murray, and he hammers it in. Cleared to the far side, and Frawley deflects it back into Chicago territory.
Coming on you now.
Keith Brown put it to the near side. Here's Graham shooting it to the neutral zone, where Thomas sends it in deep. Zalapski is on it. Put it to the far side. Held in there by Eagles. Buskus stepped into him along the boards. Now Zemlak, he took a hit from Thomas. Puck came free in the corner. And a big pile up again. There's Vive digging it out. Vive centered a shot, and it's blocked at the defense. Good work from Vive to feed Thomas, but the shot didn't get through to the net. In behind, a big pile up again. Then Thomas trying to pry it loose. Zemlak wants to hold it, and it came free to the Penguins. Phil Bourque weaving to center ice. Now cleared it to Zalapski over the line. Zarley Zalapski got around one check, then a drop pass worked back to center ice. So the Penguins regroup there. Andy Hillier, his feed rolling loose to Keith Brown, and a two-line pass to Vive. And the play is stopped with 12 minutes to go in the first period. If you tuned in late, you missed some early fireworks. It's already 3-0 Pittsburgh on Sports Vision and BBM.
Scoring chances for the Blackhawks. Rick Vive in his first game back after missing a few with a pinched nerve in his neck. Dumped it out to Thomas, and Thomas' shot was blocked, as Thomas has 13 goals in his last 14 games.
Steve Conroy back of the Hawk net feeds Keith Brown. Brown to center ice, shoots it in. Over to the far corner, Noonan. He's run over there by Hillier. And now the Penguins able to clear it to center ice. Hawks shooting it back in. Here's Presley outworking Coffey to the loose puck. Then he's taken off the play. Cleared over to the far corner, where a couple of players hit the deck, and the whistle sounds as Presley and Coffey eyeballing. Now Hillier coming in there. And everything looks like it'll cool off.
Penguins with only 2 losses in 13 home games prior to this one. Well, Coffey coming into the game was tied with Steve Duchesne of the Los Angeles Kings for the leading scorer as far as defensemen are concerned. Coffey has missed 4 games as well. Coming into the game, Coffey with 33 points, but a -4 in the plus-minus rating.
Now the draw. Chipped out to center ice. Taken by Yanni. Yanni feeding Larmer. He left it for Savard, but the play is ruled offside.
Pretty close call. That pass was right on the blue line, but sometimes when a winger, an off winger, a left winger is playing the right side, that fools the officials sometimes. They think that the skates are across the line because of the stick behind him, but he accepted that pass. I thought it was perfectly timed right on the blue line. Larmer playing in his 508th straight game.
So he should break the record on Sunday night when the Hawks finally return to home ice. Sunday night the Hawks host the St. Louis Blues, and that should be number 510, which would break the record of our friend the Horse, John Marks, who's now of course the head coach in Kalamazoo in the International League and doing very well down there. Minnesota very happy with the way he began his head coaching career last season in their organization.
Hold him up, Lard. Right back, right back.
Sunday night or Saturday night and Sunday we have to stay at a hotel.
Here's the play in the Hawk zone. Manson cleared it to the far. What am I going to do without room service? Now here's Graham with a shot right on Barrasso. Stopped it. Rebound Airy. Trying to clear it. Hawks hold it in. Graham on the far board. Centered one. It deflected to the near point. Keith Brown. His long wrist shot didn't get through. Rob Brown chipped it ahead. Here's Airy racing after it. Gains the line. Bob Airy leaves for Lemieux. Lemieux in traffic, lost the handle. And Graham the other way will crank a long shot that Barrasso gloves easily. Cleared it himself to center. Hawks dump it back in. Bill Bourque on the left wing boards. Lost it to Troy Murray. Now it's cleared back to the neutral zone. Finally corralled now by Jim Johnson at the Pittsburgh defense. Johnson with room to center. Clearing it into the Chicago zone. Jimmy Waite put it to the far side. It bounced free to center and Johnson. And he dumps it back in. Keith Brown shot it into the Penguin zone. Now Cullen moving to center was harassed by Eagles, but Johnson carries on to the line. He's forced into the corner by Manson, and then Vibe took it away. Got it to Mike Eagles, feeding Trent Yanni. Yanni tees up a long shot. Barrasso the pad save. Rebound to the far corner. They jam it out there. Vibe to the line. Manson. Here's the drive. He scores. Dave Manson from the blue line, just inside the far post, and the Hawks are on the board, trailing 3-1.
An excellent pass from Rick Vibe in the corner. He stood there. Looked like the pass was going to go to the slot. He made a pass to Manson. And Manson just let it rip, beating Barrasso to the glove side, just inside the far post. Through a screen. Eagles doing some battle, and Barrasso didn't see it till it was by him. I think Manson surprised him with that hard, quick shot of his. He just blew it by Barrasso, but a nice play from Rick Vibe in the corner. His last shift, Vibe made a good play forechecking to set up Thomas, and his shot was deflected wide.
Dave Manson's 8th of the year from Rick Vibe and Dwayne Sutter at 11:34. And the Hawks trail 3-1. Here's Presley trying to add to it, but he's knocked down behind the net. Hannon cleared it to the far side, and Caulfield shot it to center. Now Bob McGill gave it to Doug Wilson. Back to McGill, who cleared it to the neutral zone. and it winds up in the penalty box. 8 minutes to go in the first period. Pittsburgh 3, Chicago 1 on Sports Vision and WBBM.
Sports Vision will be Saturday at noon when the Hawks take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Join Pat and myself live from the Spectrum at noon on Sports Vision and 11:50 on WBBM.
Now here's the draw. Shot down into the Chicago zone. Dave Manson turns away from Cunneyworth and leads the rush. Manson wheeling to center. Sends it in deep. Savard racing after it. Chipped it to the side of the net. Barrasso whacked it back to the corner. Larmer on it there. To the line. Now along the boards for Santa Pass to Savard to the corner. Dances away from Hannon. Turns in behind. There's going to be a penalty. Here's a shot and a save by Barrasso, and he holds on. Meanwhile, Santa Pass was dumped in the slot. He may have landed awkwardly, slow to get up, and will update his condition in a second, but the Hawks are going to the power play. It's Pittsburgh 3, Chicago 1 on Sports Vision and BBM.
Pittsburgh penalty, 27 Ron and Bussick, 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, 12:36. Bussick, 2 for interference at 12:36.
Time penalty leader in Pittsburgh Penguin history. Dumped Santa Pass in front of the net as Savard was circling in behind. And the Blackhawks get a chance to cut the lead. It's 3-1 Penguins, and they get their first power play. The Penguins 18th overall. Their penalty killing not much better than the Blackhawks. 43 goals against and 167 times short.
Now Steve Thomas to the near point, and Manson, long wrist shot blocked at the defense. Manson then able to hold it in, put it across to Yanni. Yanni far board to Savard. Side of the net, Vive gave it back to Savard. Again to Vive, moving in front. He lost it. Now Manson a blast. He scores! Rick Vive had it roll off the end of his stick, but right to Manson, and he cranked it by Barrasso. 2 goals in the same spot, right over the glove of the goaltender. 3-2 Pitt.
And Rick Vive after the game will say it was a perfect pass that he attempted. He was trying to turn and let it go. It squirted away from right to Manson. Barrasso, no chance. Lots of net, lots of room, and he just blew it by him. Manson with his 9th goal, a power play goal, and the Blackhawks are right back in it.
Chicago goal is 9th of the season. 2nd goal of the game scored by number 3, Dave Manson.
Now here come the Hawks again. Manson trying to center it. Barrasso blocked the pass. Dave Manson's power play goal from Vive and Savard at 16:03, and 13:03 at the time of the goal, and the Blackhawks trail it 3-2 when it looked early as if the Penguins may have a laugher. The Hawks have battled their way back in it. Here's Troy Murray sending it ahead, hoping for Graham. Bourque is hustling, though. He gets there, and he touches it first for the icing call. The broadcast rights of this game have been granted to Sports Vision and WBBM by the Chicago Blackhawks solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the consent of Sports Vision or WBBM is prohibited.
This is his second 2-goal game for Dave Manson. He scored 2 goals against the Bruins in that loss. The Blackhawks showing some character here, trailing 3-0 in an extended 6-game of a 7-game road trip. They very easily could have been it all for them, but they're fighting back, and they've got a shot at this game.
Ryan Noonan slides it in. Barrasso fires it right back out. And Jimmy Wade will have to play this one. Shot it to the far side. Here's Mike Eagles racing along the left wing board, shooting it in. Vive's going to get there in the corner. Rick Vive in behind, tied up by Quinn. Then Hillier took it away. Randy Hillier slipped it ahead to Dan Quinn. Eagles knocked it off his stick. Back into the Pittsburgh zone it goes. Coffey harassed by Vive. Now Sutter stole it. The wraparound. Hillier, I think, may have saved the goal. Hillier beat the Hawk player to the far post, and now a penalty coming up as Vive and Coffey well behind the play. And Vive wound up on the deck. Let's see what the penalty will be about. We'll tell you about it in a second. It's Pittsburgh 3, Chicago 2 on Sports Vision and BBN.
Excellent first period after missing a few games with that injury. Coffey pulled him down. He gets an interference penalty at 14:38. Vive has got 2 assists, causes a penalty here, and then his first shift he set up Thomas, and his shot went wide, but good start for Vive. The Blackhawks get a chance to tie it up on their second power play of the game, trailing 3-2.
Here's Dave Manson. And a feed for Thomas, rolling loose to the Penguin zone. Barrasso out to play it. Got it to Johnson. Trying to clear it. Bounce loose to Lemieux. Look out. 2-on-1. Mario Lemieux over the line. Cuts in. Shooting. Wade made the save. And the rebound to the Hawks. Lemieux with 4 shorthanders this year. Had a bid for another one. Vive to the right wing corner. Leaves for Thomas along the board. He cranks it up, and a save by Barrasso, who juggles but then holds on. And a little shoving in front of the goal where Vive, as usual, had set up shop looking for a rebound.
A bad break for Trent Yanni. A bouncing puck gets by him as he tried to stay in on the power play. Lemieux picked it up. It was a 2-on-1. Lemieux waited. Dave Manson played it perfectly, and then finally forced Lemieux to shoot. Wait with a good save. Good play by Manson there in a 2-on-1 break. And at the other end, Rick Vive on a Steve Thomas shot, trying to get through a rebound. He does battle in front with Hillier and Johnson. A lot of wrestling, not much damage done, and a face-off to the left of Barrasso. Rick Vive taking the face-offs on this power play.
Here's the draw taken by the Penguins. Dykstra cleared it around the boards, taken by Lemieux, and he clears. Here's Manson moving the Hawks back with a minute remaining on the Chicago power play. Manson sets it up at the near point, threw it across, taken by Yanni, up the boards of Savard. Dennis Savard works in behind the goal, stops there. Now back to the far point, Yanni. Moved it to Manson. Dave Manson trying to get it through Lemieux, couldn't do it. Now here's Thomas with a shot and a save by Barrasso. Vive knocked down going for the rebound. Hannon picks it up, and here come the Penguins now. Might be a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Hannon over the line in traffic, and Manson took it away nicely. A lead to Savard. Dennis Savard hits the line, doesn't have any help, now drops it back for Graham just off the bench, leaving for Conroy. Here's the shot up off the glass. Rebound to Savard. Back to the line, Wilson. Returning to Savard, again to Wilson. Moved it to Conroy, his shot, Barrasso the save. He gave up a rebound, but the Hawks couldn't get there. Lemieux does, and he clears.
Barrasso made the save, didn't look good making the save though, and fell back, leaving a rebound, but Dirk Graham was tied up.
The penalty over now. Both teams are back at full strength. Zalewski gave it away to Larmer. Fired it high and wide. Oh, what a chance for Larmer, and he missed the target going for the corner by the glove of Barrasso. Quinn the other way. Shooting. And that's deflected over the glass and into the crowd.
Well, sometimes you get so surprised when you get a great chance like that on a giveaway. It startles you and you're not exactly relaxed. The Larmer won't miss very often from there. He tried to go high to the glove side after Zalewski made the perfect pass. Troy Murray was cutting in front of Barrasso. If that hits the net, it's in, because Barrasso had no idea where the shot went. At the end of the power play, Steve Conroy's shot, playing the right point on a feed from Wilson. Brasso made the save, but he fell back and doesn't look too sharp in there.
Three minutes remaining in the first period, a period that looked as if the Hawks may have been blown out early, but they've scratched their way back into the hunt and trail it 3-2. Here's Brown. Keith Brown up the boards for Presley. He got it out to center. Zalapski turns there. Cleared it to the far side. Now the Penguins shoot it in. And Vincelette trying to clear it, gave it away. Quinn right in, shoot, and a save by Waite. Jimmy Waite bails out Vincelette, who had a little problem in his own end.
The puck bouncing. Vincelette trying to make a move, was knocked off the puck by Cullen, a smaller forward. Penguins move in, and the shot deflected right to Waite, and Waite made a terrific save in traffic. Dan Quinn has been red hot, gets a great chance, and Jimmy Waite comes up with a good glove save from point-blank range. Quinn on a 9-game scoring streak with 7 goals and 7 assists. You won't get better chances than that. So giveaways at either end, one by Zalapski and that one by Vincelette.
Not to be overlooked in that hot streak for Dan Quinn. He'd been playing during that streak right wing on the line with Lemieux. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get plenty of chances when you play with Big 66. And Dan Quinn's been cashing in. Tonight, though, they've been separated for the most part, Quinn and Lemieux. Here's Big Mario over the line, 2-on-1. Brown catching the play. He centered it and just missed Rob Brown. Boy, Lemieux looking all the way. It looked to pass there, trying to set up his winger. And Rob Brown just barely failed to tip it into the open side. Coffey is turned around. A penalty coming up here on Presley. And the Penguins will head to the power play.
Presley is could have gotten a hooking penalty or a high sticking. Looks like Maruelli is going to call a high sticking penalty with 1:50 to go in the first period. Coffey trying to circle. Coffey in deep, trying to turn and fire, and was hit with the stick by Presley as he tried to pull the trigger. So the Penguins will get another power play chance. Their third of the period. They have 1 power play goal. Presley for high sticking. And the Hawks would need to kill this off to give the Penguins less of a chance to have momentum to start the second period. 3-2 game. The Hawks have battled back. They trailed 3-0 5 minutes into the hockey game. They battled back. If they give up a goal here, it could be very costly.
Again, it's Quinn, Brown, and Lemieux on the Penguin power play. Zalapski and Coffey are at the points. Here's the draw. Taken by the Hawks, and it's cleared to center. Paul Coffey bounced one back into the Hawk zone. Waite trying to clear it himself, and he did get it out to center ice. Now Rob Brown steps back over the line, leaving for Quinn, but the Hawks able to steal, and Troy Murray clears. And back come the Penguins. Coffey in a hurry. Races over the line, put it on Rob Brown's stick. He centered one, couldn't get it through Yanni. In the near corner, Lemieux. Out to the line, Coffey. Back to Big Mario along the board. Lemieux with 2 points already in the game. To Coffey, a shot. That missed the target. Rebound taken by Graham. He's hounded in the corner. Puck came free at the side of the net. Now Graham got it back and clears it around the boards. Back down into the Penguin zone. We're into the final minute of the first period. 45 seconds remaining as Rob Brown gains the line, looking to split the defense, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Now Brown got it to Lemieux. Lemieux along the near board, deep slot to Zalapski, a drive that hit somebody in front. Then Coffey held it in, now lost it. Larmer trying to feed Savard, who goes down, and no penalty called as Savard, trying to create a breakaway, was hauled down from behind. Now back come the Penguins. Lemieux put it to the side of the goal. Cullen centered it, deflected in front. Now a lead. Savard will have a breakaway this time. He races in alone. Barrasso left it for Larmer. Barrasso, the Zarley Zalapski made a great play to almost catch Savard. Savvy dropped it back to Larmer.
Well, Savard tried to take a dive in the neutral zone earlier. Didn't go for it, Marawelli, that is. And then this time, Savard picked it up from Larmer. Zalapski showing the ability to catch up. Great play from Savard, great presence of mind there. And Larmer with his second good chance in the last couple of shifts. And Brasso makes a great save in a shorthanded situation with 7 seconds to go in the period. What a play, though, by Savard. He realized he didn't have enough momentum, didn't have position to shoot it, was hooked by Zalapski, dropped it to Larmer. What a play. Well, what a save. 17 seconds to go on the penalty, only 7 seconds in the period.
And the draw to the left of the Penguin goal that's taken by Manson. He just clears it in behind the goal, and that's going to do it for the first period. So the Pittsburgh Penguins jump out to an early lead, but the Blackhawks able to get back in the hunt. Paul Coffey scored for Pittsburgh at the 46-second mark to get the Penguins off and rolling, and then on their second shot on goal, Mario Lemieux scored from Rob Brown and Bob Airy at 1:28. The first two shots went in on Darren Pang. That was enough for Mike Keenan. Pang yanked. Jimmy Waite came in the game. He faced a Pittsburgh power play that scratched the score sheet when Phil Bourque scored from Lemieux and Quinn at 5:18 to make it 3-0 Pittsburgh after 5 minutes. But the Blackhawks able to work back in the hunt. Dave Manson scored his 8th of the year, assisted by Vive and Sutter at 11:34. And then Manson striking on a Chicago power play for number 9. Vive and Savard assisting at 13:03. The Blackhawks had 12 shots on goal in the first period. The Penguins had 6. News, weather, and sports coming up on the radio side. On television, Dale will have an interesting visit with the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Gene Ubriaco. And that'll be coming up momentarily at the end of 20 minutes here in the Civic Arena. It's the Penguins 3, the Blackhawks 2.
Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins 3, the Chicago Blackhawks 2. Other scores around the league. Minnesota playing in St. Louis, a tough North Division rival there, no score in the first. Boston playing the Islanders, no score in the first. Buffalo visiting Hartford in an Adams Division rivalry. Hartford ahead 1-0 in the first. Philadelphia visiting Washington, a Patrick Division game, 1-0 Washington in the first. Quebec is playing in Calgary, a late start. The Rangers are playing in Vancouver, also a late start. And Winnipeg visits the red-hot Los Angeles Kings. After one period to play here, it's the Penguins 3, the Blackhawks 2. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Gene Ubriaco after these messages.
With me in this first intermission, the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Gene Ubriaco. And Gene, after all those years of toiling in the minors, can you still believe that now you're coaching in the National Hockey League?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm not naive to know that this is just a short. I got a long-term contract, 2 weeks to 2 weeks. That's an NHL long-termer for coaches.
After all those years down there, what kept you going, though? The dream? Sooner or later, you must have said, "Well, I've had enough. I've got to look for some other work."
Well, no question. I went back to school, coached in college. I said I want to coach a National League team. I want to win a Stanley Cup. I thought I'd start at the bottom and work my way up and earn my way, and then I'm starting to realize, what am I, a slow learner? Because it was taking a long time. But I'm glad I did that, because I don't think you can ever get enough experience to coach the National Hockey League.
Gene, some coaches are tough disciplinarians. Other guys are video nuts. Other guys have got a system. What style does it fit in for you?
Well, I was fortunate over the years to try a lot of different things, and that was a good part about being in the minors so long. And then I developed my own strategy, my own system. And I really do have, let's go back, I set up a book that I was going to go through, and I'm going through and I'm working it. But like I said, nothing can prepare you for the National Hockey League as much as coaching and have that experience. But once you get here, there's so many aspects to the job, the media for one thing, that you have to try to handle. You know, no one's ever great at every part of the job, but you try to handle as much of it as you can, and as much experience you can get, it's got to be helpful.
How about coaching, per se, in the league? Is it tough? Is it tougher up here than in the minors?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to say it's any tougher, because The nice part is you're playing with the end result. You're working with people that maybe you only have to tell them once. You know, down in the minors, you're going to stay with people. You're going to have to repeat and repeat kind of situation. But here, anything I want to do, the people catch on. And I've been fortunate coming into Pittsburgh. The people that I have, the quality talent that I have, and the best part is the kind of people they are. They really gave me an opportunity to be a coach in the National Hockey League. They could have made it difficult, I think, but they've made it as easy as possible. And I said I had two ways of coaching, one for thoroughbreds and one for mules. And I'm still into the thoroughbred type of coaching, and that's the best way. We all enjoy being talked to properly and being professional about our job. And whereas if you know, you're dealing with a mule, you have to use another strategy. And I'm very fortunate I don't have to do that.
You've got a couple fine thoroughbreds in Lemieux and Coffey. How do you deal with them?
No problem. I think that a lot of people don't realize how badly these people want to win. They're not superstars because of all the points they get. They're superstars because they relate to people. People can play off them. People get better because of them, and because of the kind of human beings they are. I think that coming in here, a lot of people say, how are you going to handle those people? Well, you don't handle them. You manage them. You try to maybe break down barriers for them. Try to stay ahead of them so that, you know, just let's make sure that no one's getting in front of them, no one's confronting them. Let's make sure they got a lot of room for them to be as creative as they want to be.
Gene, you've had a lot of experience in the past working with the Stan Mikita's Hockey School for the Hearing Impaired. Has that helped you at all?
Well, like I used to say when I was in the minors, you know, the deaf kids, they can't hear, but they listen. The deaf school just tells me what hockey can do for people. Hockey's a great sport to develop people. It makes them more responsible. And that's what we do with the Deaf Hockey School. Our boys some of them are in college. When Stan Mikita started, it's unbelievable. In 16 years we're going into now. What he started and helped so many kids, he's got to be a proud man for what he's done. Irv Tianabek, of course, our president, is another man. The two of them started the school. But what they started, I don't think they envisioned what they started, because just the other day I was in Boston talking to a kid that's in college. He's one of our boys. So some of these kids are up and about and doing very well.
We're looking forward to seeing you at this hockey school this summer, and good luck the rest of the year in the Patrick Division.
Well, thank you. Nice talking to you.
All right, my guest was Gene Ubriaco. Stay tuned. Pat and I will be back with more after these messages.
Two lead over the Blackhawks. That's a lot better than it looked early. The Pittsburgh Penguins got off quick, and they put the Blackhawks in a hole right away.
Well, they get in the hole on a bad goal. Coffey, just from a bad angle, just through the legs of Darren Pang. He didn't appear to be ready. And 46 seconds into the game, Coffey scores his 9th from Hannon. And then Mary Lemieux with a give and go, and Brown gives it back to Lemieux. Nice pass over the stick of Yanni right to Lemieux. He breaks in all alone, fakes, slips it through the legs of Darren Pang, and that was enough as far as Keenan was concerned for Darren Pang. A minute 28 into the game, it was 2-0 Pittsburgh. And then on the power play, a little quick pass from Lemieux to Phil Bourque, who was just streaking in, and he muscled it through the legs of Jimmy Waite. All 3 goals through the legs of the goaltenders. 2 by Pang, and there Jimmy Waite gives out to Phil Bourque, who was in all alone on the power play, and it was 3-0. It looked like it would be a rout. At 5:18, it was 3-0. The Hawks battled back. Some good work by Rick Vive and Sutter in the corner. Vive with a nice pass to the late guy, Manson. Manson walks in with Eagles in front of the net. Manson just blows it by the glove hand of Brasso, and it's 3-1 at 11:34. Manson's 8th of the year from Vive and Sutter. And then on the power play at 13:03, Rick Vive tries to turn and fire. It squirts off his stick, but it goes right to Manson. Manson just blasts one past Brasso. It's 3-2, and the Blackhawks are right back in it. It looked like after 3-0, 5 minutes into the game, it might be one of those 10-1 type games where the Hawks battled back and had numerous other chances. They had a couple of shorthanded goals chances, and Steve Larmer had a couple of chances as well at even strength. So overall, after trailing 3-0, the last 15 minutes belonged to the Blackhawks.
It's 3-2 Pittsburgh after 20 minutes. We'll come back with second period action after this. Allen back in Pittsburgh along with 16,025 fans, a sellout crowd here in the arena, and they have seen the Penguins take a 3-2 lead over the Blackhawks.
To order your 88-89 Blackhawk yearbook, just send $5 plus $2 postage and handling to the Chicago Blackhawks, 1800 West Madison, Chicago, Illinois, 60612. The Russians are coming to Chicago. The Blackhawks take on the Dynamo Riga on January 4th at the Chicago Stadium. Tickets are on sale now at the Chicago Stadium box office and at all Ticketron outlets. Or charge your tickets by calling Teletron at 853-3636 for the Russians and the Blackhawks on January 4th. And this is the only the second time in history that a Russian team has played on stadium ice. Last time was 1976. I happened to play in that game.
And?
At Windburn. Will you ever get close to these Russians? Boy, the smell will just want to let them go by you.
Someday when we have time, you're going to have to tell us some of your Moscow stories.
Well, look, for a while, we might have lots of time tonight in the first 5 minutes. But the Hawks showing some character in the 6th of a 7-game road trip. Nothing going well for them. They've lost 7 in a row. It was 3-0. 5 minutes into the period, you figure, uh-oh, this is going to be a long night. But they battled back, and it could be very easily tied right now after the first 5 minutes.
As we mentioned, the first 2 shots for Pittsburgh went in. Since that time, in the first minute and a half, since then, the Blackhawks had 12 shots on goal, and the Penguins had 4. The last few minutes, last 3 quarters of the period, the Blackhawks had an edge in the play. Here we go with period 2. Trent Yanni in his own end. Put it around to the right wing boards. Presley. He took a hit from Cunningworth. Puck squirts free to the slot, and Murray is there. Now Troy Murray passes it to himself off the boards, gets around Cunningworth and clears it into the Penguin zone. Aim to the near side. Aim to the line, across to the far point. Here's Brown with a shot. Barrasso makes the save and holds on, and I think the Blackhawks have it in their minds. Let's see how good that glove might be.
It didn't look too sharp there. He got a piece of it, but that puck looked like he had some trouble with it. Brown, he saw it all the way, and that hit the top of his glove.
Well, both goals scored by the Hawks' Dave Manson. He blew it by the gloved hand of Barrasso. On one of them, Barrasso clearly screened. On another one, he didn't get a perfect view of it. But since then, almost every time the Hawks have had a chance, they've been going to that glove side. Not a bad idea. Now Dan Quinn, or rather Dave Hannon and Dennis Savard for the draw, which rolls loose along the far side. Hannon chipped it around the boards. Lemieux trying to clear it. Yanni held it in, shoots one, and a save by Barrasso, and he holds on.
Everett Sanapas, who was injured in the middle part of the period, when he was knocked down in front by Busquets. Seemed to have a lot of trouble. Didn't finish the period. Tried to skate it off, and as the teams went off for the intermission, it looked like he was not going to be able to play the second period. But he's out there, and he takes a good hit on Lemieux in the corner to force a turnover.
And then as Barrasso gloved that shot, Lemieux and Sanapas had a little trouble separating. Everett with a few words. I don't know if you want to get him too mad, though, at Lemieux.
Don't want to wake him up.
No, that's for sure. Here's the draw. Randy Hillier got it to the far side. Savard held it in for Larmer, deep slot. His shot didn't get through. Coffey. And Coffey coughed it up. Here's Sanapas, right in, shoot, he scores! Everett Sanapas jumped on a giveaway from Coffey, fired it right between the pearly gates of Barrasso. 3-3 now.
Paul Coffey has been suspect his whole career in his own zone. He coughs it up to Sanapas, overskates it, and then turns away from Sanapas. He just pulls away and goes to his left, leaving Sanapas a clear alley. Coffey had no idea where to go after he coughed it up, and Sanapas with a low shot past Barrasso to tie it up.
Third goal of the year for the Chief, Everett Sanapas. It's unassisted at 121. So just as the Penguins struck early in the first, the Hawks do the same here in the second period. And what looked to be a rout about an hour ago is now turned into anybody's ball game.
Keith Brown trying to dump it in, hit Dwayne Sutter right in the back. But a great comeback here by the Blackhawks, 3-3, and they come out of the gate quickly with some good pressure on the Penguins. And Everett Santapass with his 3rd goal, and all 3 goals have come on the road.
Here's Rod Buskus at the Penguin defense, clearing it down into Chicago territory. Keith Brown back, leaves for Conroyd. Now along the boards, everybody hacks at it. Eagles trying to chop it, couldn't get it out. Over to the far side, Vibe. He whacked at it, he couldn't clear it. Bill Bourque trying to center one that's picked off by Brown. Now Eagles worked it to the neutral zone. Stolen there by Dan Quinn. Gave it to Bourque. Bill Bourque's pass rolls free into the Hawk zone. Waite gave it to Sutter on the near side. Wayne Sutter carries to center and shoots it in. Taken by Zalapski. His pass picked off in the neutral zone. The Hawks cleared into the Penguin end. Now Yanni rolled it around to the far corner. Murray lets it go through to the line. Held in there. Shot back into the corner. Zalapski. Bounce one loose to Bourque. Bill Bourque for John Cullen. And he slides it into the Blackhawk zone. Manson to play it. Put it around to the left wing boards. Thomas tied up, couldn't get it out. Here's Cunneyworth centering. Goes through to the far side. And out comes Graham. Gave it to Murray. Troy Murray, a long shot, gloved by Barrasso. Trying to clear it himself, and he did get it to center ice. Brent Yanni for Thomas. Lost it as he came to the line. Now Dykstra shot it to center. Manson a long drive from there. Barrasso gloves it, but the play was offside anyway. 3.5 minutes into the 2nd period. It's Chicago 3, Pittsburgh 3. On Sports Vision at BBM. The neutral zone. And here's the draw taken by the Penguin. Richard Zemlak hammered it in. Now chopped to the goal mouth. Waite had to hug the post, and he did as Frawley just whacked at it. And Jimmy Waite was careful and covers up.
Penguins trying to get something going here with some muscle. Zemlak, the former North Star. Frawley, the former Blackhawk, and Stevens, a former member of the U.S. Olympic team out there, and a makeshift type unit here to try and stir things up as the Penguins have been flat. Well, I think they thought it was going to be easy once they had a 3-0 lead, and they haven't been able to turn it back on since that time.
Jim Johnson with a shot, missing the target. Presley fired it into the Pittsburgh zone. Now Dykstra, and to clear it ahead, it came right back to it. Dykstra to the right wing boards for Frawley. The ex-captain of the Penguins is tied up. A steal. Here's a feed for Presley right in. He shoots. He scores! Wayne Presley on a quick counterattack was put in all alone. And the Blackhawks with 4 straight goals have grabbed the lead. 4-3.
A perfect pass right on the money. Conroyd right on the tape. Presley's skates were right on the line. The puck was on edge. He faked and went to the back end and slipped it under the right arm of Barrasso, and it's a 4-3 Hawk lead. What a comeback for the Blackhawks. Nice move by Presley.
Conroyd and Vincelette assisting Presley's 5th of the year at 4:01. And the Penguins and their fans have been stunned here. Here's Manson, a drive. That missed the target. Came to the near board. Savard to the corner against Airy. Now came free along the boards. Rob Brown. He couldn't clear it. Santa pass to the far point, Manson. Manson tees it up, a long drive, and a save by Barrasso. Rebound cleared into the Chicago zone. Dave Manson harassed by Lemieux, who stole it, but his pass picked off by Larmer. Steve Larmer over the Penguin line. Oh, shot it in behind the net. Coffey trying to clear it. McGill held it in. McGill flipped it into the corner. Now Rob Brown Tied up by Wilson. Then Vive digs it out of there. Rolled it to the far side, and now let's see another penalty. 6 men on the ice. Boy, oh boy. The Hawks, I think, lead the league in this dubious category. Too many men on the ice, and another penalty is coming up here. With a score, Chicago 4, Pittsburgh 3. Back in a moment on Sports Vision and BBN.
Since the 5:18 mark of the first period, Hawks with 2 goals in this period, but now a potential momentum buster here as the Blackhawks get caught again, the second time in this game for too many men on the ice, and the Penguins get their 4th power play of the game.
Faceoff will be just outside the Pittsburgh zone. The Blackhawks now have 18 minutes in bench penalty minutes for the year, more than anybody else in the league. Here's Barrasso in his own end. Or Zalewski. Cleared it around the boards, and Quinn has some room. Banks one to Lemieux. Lemieux in over the line, fought off a check. Weaves to the near side to set it up. Put it into the corner. Brown. Back to the line it goes. Zalewski for Lemieux near circle. Put it to Zalewski. Back to Lemieux. They play catch. Here's Zalewski. A shot blocked by Murray. Now Graham nicely banked one to Manson, and he cleared.
Dave Manson tried to move. He would try on everyone in the league with the stick between the legs, try to knock the player off. But Lemieux, you can't get away with it. He uses that great size and reach to get by you, even though you have him tied up.
A minute remaining on the Pittsburgh power play as the Penguins have difficulty penetrating. Now Larmer steals from Lemieux. Larmer is in, shooting. He shot it wide. Now here's Conroy, and he blasted it wide. Boy, Larmer's had 3 great chances and been held off every time, hasn't hit the net. Here's Lemieux in the corner. Leaving for Quinn. Out to the line, Coffey. Put it to Zalewski. Back to Coffey. Here's the long shot, and a save by Waite, deflecting it upstairs.
Well, Steve Larmer, his second great shorthanded situation, stripped it from Lemieux at the red line, went in from the far side and just shot it wide. His last shorthanded chance, Barrasso made a great save on the Savard drop pass, and his chance prior to that, he missed the net trying to go high on a Zalewski giveaway. At that time, he tried to beat Barrasso to the short side and just missed the target. Larmer hit the post and was stopped by Fitzpatrick a couple of times in LA. He's had 3 or 4 great chances in this game in the early going.
Half a minute to go on the Penguin power play. Here's the draw to Manson. He clears it. And Paul Coffey winds it up for Pittsburgh. Coffey striding effortlessly. Cleared it over the line to Lemieux. Fires. Wade, big save, rebound. And Wade had to stop his own man. Troy Murray almost put the rebound into his own net.
Coffey with a good head of steam. A pinpoint pass right under the stick of Lemieux. Coffey just glides effortlessly. Unbelievable how quick he can get going without even taking more than 2 strides. Lemieux got all of it. Waite kicked it with the right pad. The puck hopped over Coffey's stick on the rebound attempt. Troy Murray trying to clear it, lost possession of it, and almost put it in his own net.
So Jimmy Waite with 2 good stops. Just 8 seconds to go on the Penguin power play. Here's a centering pass. Rob Brown, big save by Lemieux. As Brown had a glorious chance, and now the Hawks able to clear it. That'll do it for the Pittsburgh power play. Both teams are back at full strength. And Jimmy Waite has given his team a big lift since coming on in relief of Darren Pang. He's made some Terrific stops, and the Blackhawks have rallied from a 3-0 deficit to own a 4-3 lead.
Coffey to Lemieux, back to Brown. It didn't take a second. 2 passes and a shot, and Waite just moving from his right to his left with an excellent save there to kick it away. And then Troy Murray was able to clear. But great passing by the Penguins, but a better save by Waite. Penalty is over. That was only the 10th shot on goal by the Penguins. The first 2 shots went in. Good kill there by the Blackhawks. Very important.
Face-off just outside the Penguin line. The draw to the Hawks. Trent Yanni. He shoots it in. Aim to the near side, Eagles. Rolled it in behind the goal. Taken there by Dykstra. Long feed broken up at center. Then the Hawks clear it back in. Dykstra tied up by Eagles. Now Eagles steals one back of the goal for Vive. Rick Vive battling with Dykstra. Now came loose to the Penguins' area. Airy shot it to the neutral zone. The Hawks clearing it back in. Chicago heads for a player change as the Penguins move out with it. John Cullen on right wing. Put it over the line. Quinn stopping in the deep slot. Dan Quinn a long shovel pass, and Waite with a blocker steers it out of there. Back comes Santa. His pass at the feet of Larmer, and it forces the play offside with 12 minutes to go in the second period. Chicago 4, Pittsburgh 3 on Sports Vision and WBBM. With Dale Talon, Pat Foley in Pittsburgh. There the Hawks are looking to break a 7-game losing streak and lead the Penguins here 4-3. Lemieux looking to change it, trying to center one. Rob Brown tied up by Murray. Graham moves back. Going to be a 2-on-1 as the Penguin fell down. Graham put it over the line. Here's Thomas cutting right in. Shoots. And a save, rebound laying loose. The Penguins get there. A penalty is going to be called against the Hawks. Rob Brown the other way. Brown gains the line, leaving for Cunningham. Tied up along the boards, rolled it to the near side. Now Barrasso doesn't realize that there's going to be a penalty called. He never did come to the bench, even though 16,000 were screaming at him. He may be shaken up.
Well, Troy Murray's going to get a penalty. He was the 3rd guy in a 3-on-1, and he cross-checked a Pittsburgh player right into the net and putting him into Barrasso. Graham didn't realize it was a 3-on-1. The pass almost too far for Thomas. Nice job of picking it up. Thomas cut around the defense, tried to stuff it. Barrasso made the save, and on the rebound, Troy Murray cross-checked Zalapsky into the net, and Barrasso appears to have injured himself in that melee. Barrasso made a good save on a move by Thomas. He faked the drop pass and cut around. Barrasso made the save, and the rebound eluded both Graham and Troy Murray, and Zalapsky goes flying into the net.
Then Thomas went crashing and falling down on top of Barrasso, and that's where he got shaken up. But Skip Thayer ambling out to have a look at the Penguin goaltender. Scores, of course, Skippy, the ex-Blackhawk trainer, looking like the
bubble he just blew. He's going to give it to us for that.
Yeah, that's right. All right, the Penguins on a power play as the crowd tries to come to life here. Here's Phil Bourque to Lemieux over the line. The trailer is Coffey. He chopped it to the side of the net. Now Lemieux back to the line. Here's Coffey. Tees it up, then centered it, but missed Lemieux. Came back to the D, and Coffey leaves it go. That allows Larmer to pick it up. Boy, Paul Coffey in a couple of situations in this second period has appeared to be in a daze. Penguins dump it in. Yanni back. Put it to the near side. Now Lemieux along the boards, lost it to Larmer, and he cleared it to center ice. Here's Savard now over the line, cutting in, centered it. Here's a shot. They score! Yanni, a short-handed goal set up by Savard, and the Blackhawks have scored 5 in a row. They lead 5-3.
Once again, Paul Coffey first didn't try to get to a loose puck and then pinches in and gets caught. He fell down at the blue line, trying to pinch in. Larmer got around him as he took it away from Lemieux. Savard faked the shot, gave it to Trent Yanni coming in late, and Trent Yanni took his time with Brasso down and out of the net, put it upstairs. A short-handed goal, and the Hawks with 5 in a row to take a 5-3 lead.
Trent Yanni's 4th goal of the year from Savard and Larmer at 9:40. A short-hander for the Hawks, and it's a stunned Pittsburgh Penguin team that an hour and a half ago looked like they were going to have an easy blowout. Not so fast, Kowalski. Here's Zalapski coming out of his own end. Cleared it to center. Cullen sends it ahead. Here's a break, and Cunneyworth ruled to be offside on the play.
That was the 10th short-handed goal against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Paul Coffey victimized twice in this period. First in his own zone as he coughed it up and then skated away from Santa Pass, enabling him to tie the game. And then pinching in and falling down at the blue line, giving the Hawks a 3-on-1 break. How many 3-on-1, 2-on-1 situations have the Hawks had since the 5-minute mark of the first period? At least half a dozen. And a couple of breakaways with it too.
A minute to go here in the Pittsburgh power play, and we're halfway through the second period. 5-3 in favor of the Blackhawks. Darley Zalapski. Now headmans to Cullen. He puts it over the line. Cunneyworth on the move. Fires, and he blasted it wide. Winds up in behind the Hawk goal. Now into the corner. Cunneyworth for Lemieux, side of the net. Back to Cunneyworth. He put it to the line. Coffey, the shot, and a save rebound. They score! After having difficulty corralling it, Randy Cunneyworth finally did and shoveled in a backhander. 5-4 in favor of the Hawks.
The penalty close to expiring, but the shot on goal. Coffey with all kinds of time. Cunneyworth with a desperation type pass over to Coffey. Coffey let it go. The save by Waite. The rebound back to Cunneyworth. He kicks it ahead to his stick. Nice job by Cunneyworth to keep that play alive, kicking it to his stick and stuffing it in on the backhand to make it 5-4. A power play goal.
Paul Coffey will pick up an assist along with Lemieux. That's 3 points for Lemieux in the game. Cunneyworth from Coffey and Lemieux at 10:25. 5-4 in favor of the Hawks. There's a errant pass sliding into the Penguin zone. It'll be icing against Chicago. 9.5 for the second. Chicago 5, Pittsburgh 4 on Sports Vision and BBM. That to him. Yeah. Dale Talon, I would think these next several shifts might be the ball game for the Blackhawks.
Well, they can't be upset by that power play goal. They have the lead. You just have to keep grinding and make sure Pittsburgh doesn't get any momentum.
Hawks have battled back to take the lead. Now the Penguins score in the power play. The crowd getting into it a little, and let's see if the Hawks can shut them down here the next little while. It's cleared back into the Pittsburgh zone. Santa Pass hustling, but Dykstra gets there, then paid the price as Santa Pass rubbed him off on the boards. Everett in the near corner. Santa Pass looking to move in front, flipped it to the side of the net, and Barrasso clears it himself back into Chicago territory.
Good effort again by Santa Pass, playing on a gimpy leg. Out-muscle the Penguin player and force a turnover again in the Penguin zone.
Now the Penguins dumping it in. Conroy on it. A bank pass, funny, hop to Bourque. Big save by Wade, rebound, Quinn. Shot it wide, an open net, and Dan Quinn missed it. Back of the goal, here's Manson. Trying to feed Thomas, he's too well covered. Quinn a shot, Wade the save, doesn't know where it is, but it's caught in the pads. Oh, a near miss for the Penguins, and Wade may be shaken up, throwing his right hand and arm up and down a little bit. But
what a bad break for Conrad and the Blackhawks, making the safe play around the boards to his defense mate. It hit a partition and bounced right out in front. Wade made the first save, and then on the rebound, I don't know if he got a piece of it, diving back in desperation on Quinn's attempt. Conroy just tried to bank it off the end boards. It came straight out front to Bork. He let it go. Waite made the save. The rebound to Quinn. And Quinn just shot it wide. It might have gotten a piece of the post. And then another shot that deflected on net that surprised Waite. And Waite made the save, reached behind him, wasn't sure where it was. And then as the whistle blew, he just rushed out of the crease and dropped his blocker. Apparently it's his shoulder. He seems to be swinging his right arm around.
Compliments of Royal Travel. Watch for two-man hotspot giveaways at every Penguin home game during the second.
Jimmy Waite now looking at his.
That shot by Bork might have hit him in the head.
Well, Jimmy Waite has provided the Blackhawks with some excellent work here tonight. And
well, just perspiring. Jimmy Waite, you can see why he can lose 10 pounds in a game, and he can ill afford to lose that much weight. He's not very, he's tall, but he's not very big.
Why don't you lend him a little?
Then he wouldn't be able to move. All his room service. You're the only guy I know that's happy to be on the road to get this great room service. You go home and eat all those TV dinners. You've eaten so many of those, every time you see tinfoil, you get hungry.
Boiling bags, pal.
The NHL is on Sports Vision. Our next league game will be Thursday at 6:30 live from the Spectrum when the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Philadelphia Flyers. It's exclusively on Sports Vision, your home for the NHL.
Well, it does look like it's the right shoulder that's giving Jimmy Waite trouble. He continues to flex that around.
Also the shot, the mask as well, but hard to see it. He's diving there. Didn't appear to be injured in that situation after he made the save on Bork.
19-year-old Jimmy Waite still talking it over with Mike Gapsky, wanting to make sure that all the systems are in order. And you can see it's his right arm as he flexes it. That's what's giving him the trouble, his right arm and shoulder.
Do you think the Penguins will try to exploit that in the next shot? I imagine they're going to go to that side to see if there's any damage. Waite, this is his 10th appearance. Well, this is a critical time for Jimmy Waite. You keep him or send him back to junior. I think his performance here the rest of this game will probably have a big factor in that decision by the Blackhawks.
All right, ready to go. 8 minutes remaining in the second period. 5-4 in favor of the Hawks. Cullen and Murray get ready. And the draw to the Penguins. Phil Bork turns in behind the goal. Now centers one. Waite blocks it, and he's going to go down and cover it up.
A good move there as Conroy had lost his stick. Bork trying to stuff it on the far side. Hit the side of the net, hit Waite, and then Waite very wisely jumped on it. Get reorganized and make sure Conroy gets his stick back and gets back into the play. 8:01 to go in the second period. And the Hawks have taken command of this hockey game after trailing 3-0, 5 minutes and 18 seconds into the first period. It's a 5-4 Blackhawk lead.
Dirk Graham on the right wing boards. Now able to bang one to center ice. Taken by Keith Brown. He shoots it in. Cullen able to clear it right back into the Hawk zone. And a penalty coming up. Steve Thomas roughed up Cullen after he cleared it. Gave him a whack in the back of the head, and the Hawks are going to be shorthanded as a result of another goofy penalty.
And the third straight penalty of the period. The Hawks giving the Penguins a chance to get back in it on the power play. This will be their 6th power play. Thomas gets a high sticking penalty. 12:20 into the second period.
It's Chicago 5, Pitt 4 on Sports Vision and BBM.
Necessary high sticking penalty at 12:20, and the Penguins with their 6th power play. They're 2 for 5. They had 10 power plays last time these teams met here in the Civic Arena, and the Penguins scored 3 power play goals.
Dirk Graham wasting a little time. Now the Hawks able to clear it. Number 33, Zarley Zalapski. Long feed to Lemieux. Quick pass to Quinn. He's in. He shoots. He scores. What a play by the Penguins. They moved the puck 200 feet down the ice in about 3 seconds with a quick pass. It's 5-5 now.
How many times has it happened this year? A bad penalty results in a power play goal, and that's exactly what happened. 3 penalties in a row by the Blackhawks. 2 power plays. They get a shorthander to take a 5-3 lead, and they give up 2 power play goals as Quinn scores with a 10th straight game. And does he get a point? Quinn on the power play. Lemieux with a perfect pass.
And Zalapski will also assist at 12:41. Boy, oh, how fast can you move it? Zalapski from the side of his own goal, put it to Lemieux at center. His quick feed to Quinn. They moved it 200 feet in about 3 seconds. Now back behind the Hawk goal, centering pass, quick shot, wait, big save. Rebound in behind the goal, and a penalty coming up as Hannon goes down. Manson will have a seat. Look out. The Penguins go back to the power play. It's 5-5 on Sports Vision and BBN.
Straight penalty. Marawelli only sees red in this particular game. He only sees one team. This one here, questionable call. Manson gets a holding penalty. Sure, he held him, but the Hawks have had 4 straight penalties up until this one. And so the Penguins will get their 7th power play of the game, and there's still 7 minutes to go in the second period.
3 power play goals already for Pittsburgh. Rob Brown on the near side. Into the corner, Quinn. Back to Brown. Deep slot, Zalapski. Gave it back to Brown. Now over to the far side, centering pass, Quinn. Shoots. Wait, the save. Gave up a rebound. Kicked loose to the boards. Now on the near side, Rob Brown fought off a Keith Brown check. Gave it to Quinn. Deep slot, Coffey. Far circle to Lemieux. Big Mario hangs on, fakes the shot. Now put it across Zalapski. A drive blocked by Keith Brown. Then Lemieux held it in. Lemieux far circle shooting. Blocked at the defense, and Conroy clears it down all the way. 1:10 for the Penguin power play. Cunneyworth beating Zalapski. Rolling it over the line. Cunneyworth on the near side. Chopped it in front. That's stolen by Larmer. And Steve Larmer with time clears. Penguins move back in a hurry. Cunneyworth for John Cullen on the right wing board. Into the corner, Cunneyworth. Tied up by Conroy. Cunneyworth dug it out though for Lemieux in behind. Centered it. Coffey fanned. Hawks on a quick counterattack. Savard moving 2-on-2. Now Coffey caught the play, and then Cunneyworth broke it up anyway. A lead for Lemieux. He's in. Lemieux alone. Wade with the glove. Mario Lemieux breaking his stick on the shot or just after, and Jimmy Waite with a terrific save.
Well, Lemieux and Gretzky have the uncanny ability to sneak in. I've never seen 2 guys get more breakaways than these 2 guys. Lemieux faked, tried to go back to the glove side, and Jimmy Waite with a terrific save. In a 5-5 game, the Penguins on their 5th straight power play, and Waite robs one of the premier players in hockey on a breakaway.
Already a goal and 3 assists for Le Magnifique in this game, raising his total to 68 points for the year. This is 25th game. Here's the draw. Half a minute for the Penguin power play. Dan Quinn in the near corner. Put it to the line. Zalapski back to Quinn. Shooting. And a save by Waite. That may have gone high, but Jimmy taking no chances with a lightning quick glove. Snares it.
There's nothing wrong with his left arm and shoulder and hand. It's his right shoulder that's bothering him, and thank God for that, because he made a great save on Lemieux, and he makes a great save on Quinn. I don't know, that looked pretty close. It looked like it was about the same height as the crossbar. Meanwhile, Doug Wilson only a 2nd shift of the game, of the second period.
16 seconds left on the Hawk penalty. Face off to the left of Waite. Here's the draw, Coffey. The far point, Bort. Back to Coffey along one-timer up off the glass. Cunneyworth chops at it in behind. Now lost it to Keith Brown, and he clears it down all the way. And that'll do it for the Chicago penalty. Both teams are now back at full strength. 5 minutes to go in the second period. We're tied at 5. As Thomas steals one. Steve Thomas looking to move in. Lost the handle, though. Shot back to the Hawk line. Troy Murray gave it to Keith Brown. Banking it out to center, where Cunneyworth hammered it right back in. Conroy to play it. Feeds Brown up the boards for Graham, and he whacks it into Pittsburgh territory. Jim Johnson leaves it in the corner. Savard's going to get there first, but his pass then picked off. Now Savard getting it back. Thomas in the corner. Threw it in behind to Savard. It took a bad bounce off the boards up over his stick. Now on the far side, they jam it up. Then Larmer digs it out, shooting, and he shot it wide. And Larmer's radar has been a little off here tonight. Dykstra whacks it into the Hawk zone. Trent Yanni. His pass picked off. Rob Brown tied up by Yanni, though, and Manson takes it away. Now Everett Santa pass. Rolling it into the Penguin zone. Got around a check here. He cuts for the net, stopping, and looks for a play. Moves in front center. It hit the goal post. And then Barrasso covers it up. Manson snuck in from the point. Santa pass found him, and the redirected shot went squarely off the goal post.
Larmer takes a hit as Santa pass banks it off the boards, stops in the corner, looks as the defenseman slides in front of him, fakes, then tries to pass it to Manson, or Yanni, I should say. Yanni came in, and it might have hit the skate of Savard, as his skate was right by the post, and it deflected right under Barrasso. Nice play by Santa pass. Stops, fakes, nice move by Cullen, and then a good feed in that Yanni deflects, and somehow it ended up under Barrasso. The Hawks not getting a break there, because they had a wonderful scoring chance.
Here's the draw. Quick shot right on Barrasso. The save on Sutter's drive. Rebound Cullen. And he banks it out to center ice. Now here's Lemieux gaining the line. Rubbed off by Sutter along the boards. And 5 on the right wing side. Got it to center, where Eagles shoots it in. Sutter hustling behind the net. Barrasso chopped it away, though. Now a big battle in behind the Penguin goal. Sutter digs it out of there. Tries to center it. He's hauled down, and the play goes on. Lemieux the other way. He hits the line. Lemieux into the deep slot. Now drops it to the trailer. And then the net knocked off the moorings as Hannon was jarred in there by Vi.
Unbelievably, Busquets doesn't get a penalty. He tackles Sutter as he's trying to come around to jam it from in behind the net, and Marawelli just turned the other way after the Penguins have had 5 straight power plays. What a wake-up call in. And the Penguins come right back after Sutter was tackled in behind, and Sutter's over having a conversation with Marawelli about it. Hawks haven't had they've had 2 power plays in this game, and the last one came at 14:38 of the first period.
Just under 3 minutes to go here in period 2. And what was once a 3-0 Pittsburgh lead is now a 5-5 hockey game. Now they're ready to the right of Waite. Murray and Lemieux will go for the draw. Here it is. Back of the goal, taken by Keith Brown. Puts it around the boards. Penguins hold it in. Conroy Took a big hit from Airy, cleared it to the far corner. Lemieux stole it, but his pass is intercepted. And the Hawks break back. Graham streaking on right wing to the line. And Coffey forced him wide. He centered it. Here's a shot and a save by Barrasso. Rebound to Quinn. And Troy Murray tackled in the slot as the play goes on. Here's Lemieux moving and shoots. And a save by Waite. Rebound in behind the goal. Keith Brown controls. Brown cleared it to Murray. Murray to the line, leading for Graham. Fires! He shot it wide as Barrasso didn't get much of a look at that. Now here's Thomas. His pass picked off, deflecting to center ice. All Coffey. There's Zalewski. Touch pass ahead to Rob Brown, and they rule it a two-line play, and the whistle sounds. Boy, you would think. Here's Maruelli going to get an earful from Mike Keenan, too, and deservedly so. You'd think that in this situation with 5 straight penalties against one team, they usually look for anything, and he's had 2 opportunities to give the Penguins a penalty and won't do it.
Twice right to the right of Barrasso deep in the Penguin net or Penguin zone. 2 Hawk players pulled down right in front of Maruelli, and he's reluctant to call a penalty against Pittsburgh. I mean, certainly all the penalties against the Hawks were penalties, but there are 2 teams out there.
Now in the Pittsburgh zone. Bork cleared it ahead to Cullen. Cullen bouncing it in. Yanni fought off Rob Brown to clear it back to center ice. Now the Penguins dump it back in. Trent Yanni overskating it, then Rob Brown was tied up. Manson took it away. Dave Manson feeds Dennis Savard. Savard wheeling in over the line, got around to check. Here's a backhander with one hand, and a good save by Barrasso as Savard all of a sudden turned on the Jets. Shot into Chicago end into the final minute of the second period. Long feed to Larmer, his lead, but a 2-line pass is ruled as Larmer just barely across center ice when he received the long feed.
Dennis Savard, the Penguins had 4 players back. Savard still able to get a shot on goal. Quick little backhand shot. Barrasso kicked it away on the low shot to the short side. 49 seconds to go in the period. Hawks in a 5-5 tie. Thanks to the power play of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The last 2 goals by the Penguins coming on the power play. Hawks pulled ahead 5-3 on a short-handed goal. But Cunningworth and Quinn on the power play have tied it up. Also a tie in shots on goal, 23 apiece.
Now the draw to the right of Waite, controlled by Keith Brown. Motors to center and slides it in. Presley to the corner. Trying to jam it loose. Barrasso looking to clear. And with some help got it back to the Hawk line. Half a minute for the period. Keith Brown to Brian Noonan. Tied up along the boards, and Cunningworth shoots it into the Chicago zone. And Vince Alette on the left wing boards. Able to clear it as he took a big hit from Cunningworth, and now the offside call made. Now here's Vince Alette taking a swing at Cunningworth, who swings back. Then Presley ran over Cunningworth from behind, and here they go in the Penguin zone. And meanwhile, Vince Alette is shaken up. He gave Cunningworth a poke with his gloves in the face. Nothing really happened. He kind of looked away or lost his concentration, and Cunningworth drifted him. And now a big wrestling match with all sorts of guys tangled up in the Penguin zone.
Cunningworth with the glove on caught Vince Alette by surprise with the left, and Vince Alette went down. Then Presley jumped in. Big frustration shown by the Blackhawks here, and the fact that they're no matter what happens, no matter what the Penguins do to them, they don't get a penalty called against them. Cunneyworth just took a charge. That was at least 3 steps. There was a charging penalty without a doubt there on Cunneyworth. And Vince Lett was nailed by Cunneyworth, so he took exception to it. And then Cunneyworth just nailed him with the stick and the glove. So Presley came in and leveled him from behind, and all hell broke loose. Well, he was hit not only with a glove, but with a stick too. Cunneyworth with the left hook and the stick coming across to hit Vince Lett right in the nose. Cunneyworth came clear across the ice for that check. Should have been a charging penalty. Now Vince Lett went after him. Let's see how Mirowelli calls this one. Cunneyworth could get a 5-minute penalty for that high sticking. He whacked him with the glove and the stick.
Consulting with Gord Brossiger and Dan McCourt, the linesman.
Well, there's a charging penalty and an elbow as well. No penalty called. Mirowelli standing right there. Then after the whistle, Vince Lett wanted to get at Cunneyworth. They're both got their gloves up, and then the glove and the stick comes right across the face of Vince Lett. Down he goes. And then Presley just hammered him from behind.
So the 3 officials will try to get their thoughts together as Mirowelli talks it over with Brossiger and McCourt. By the way, in our second intermission tonight on television, we're going to have a feature on goalie masks. They've certainly become much more intricate in their design the last several years. But it's going to be real interesting to see what the call is going to be here. Will there be any third man in? Will there be any extra? Will there be a 5-minute penalty at all?
Well, I would think that Presley will be a third man in. I imagine he's had it for the night.
Mirowelli taking some time here to get things straight with the minor officials over on the far side. Blackhawks finally will finish off this road trip on Saturday afternoon as Mike Keenan goes back to the place where he enjoyed much success the last several years. Will be in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. And that should be an emotionally charged hockey game, I would think, as the Blackhawks will be there on Saturday afternoon, 11:50 with the radio pregame and 12 noon on television.
The Flyers are starting to get back on track. Flyers have 16 losses, but they started to win a few in the last 3. I think they've got 2 wins and a tie. They have 12 wins, 26 points, only 5 points out of first place in the Patrick division.
Chicago penalties. Number 20, Dan Vincelette, 2 minutes for roughing. Number 17, Wayne Presley, a game misconduct, 3rd man in the altercation. Pittsburgh penalties. Number 15, Randy Cunneyworth, 2 minutes for roughing, 5 minutes for fighting. Time of the penalties, 19:49. Vincelette, 2 for roughing.
There it is. Dan Vincelette gets 2 for roughing. Randy Cunneyworth gets 2 for roughing and 5 for fighting at 19:49. And Wayne Presley, as we suspected, ejected with a game misconduct for being the 3rd man in.
So the Blackhawks will get a 5-minute power play out of this. Only 11 seconds to go in this second period. So all of a sudden, in one swoop, things are evened up in a hurry, aren't they? 5 straight penalties against the Blackhawks. 5 straight power plays for the Penguins. And now the Hawks are going to get a 5-minute power play to start the 3rd period.
Well, I'm certain that they'll concentrate on that aspect in the 2nd intermission. As you'll recall, not long ago, the Hawks lost a game basically because they failed to do anything with a 5-minute power play in Montreal.
That's what started them on their 7-game losing streak. It was a 3-3 game and a 5-minute power play.
Here's Steve Thomas trying to move in. He's tied up, and behind the play we may have had a problem.
Well, the Penguins are probably going to try and goad the Blackhawks into a silly penalty here, and they better just show a lot of self-control.
Linesman Dan McCourt has hold of the Penguin forward, who I think is Hannon. Hannon and Vive were dueling behind the play.
Looks like they're going to get offsetting penalties. Coming with 5 seconds to go in the period. So a lot of action happening in the last 11 seconds of the 2nd period.
Number 20, Dave
offsetting
Hannon,
minors
2 each
to
for slashing.
Vive and Hannon. Each get slashing penalties.
2 each for slashing at 19:55.
Now with just 5 seconds to go in the period, the draw will be outside the Penguin zone. Now they get ready. Here's the draw taken by the Penguins. That's going to do it for the 2nd period. Now another little problem as the period expires. Johnson tangling with one of the Hawks, and may have been Troy Murr, Thomas rather, and a little gathering, but that's all for now. And everybody pulls apart. So the 2nd period finally in the books as the Blackhawks trailed at 3-2 coming in. Chicago erupting for 3 straight goals in the first half of the period. Everett Sanapass capitalized on a Paul Coffey brain cramp at the 1:21 mark. Sanapass with his 3rd of the year, tying the game. An unassisted goal making it 3-3. Then the Hawks took the lead. Wayne Presley's 5th from Conroy and Vince Alette at 4:01. And a shorthanded goal scored by Trent Yawney, his 4th of the season. A brilliant setup by Dennis Savard along with Steve Larmer at 9:40, giving the Hawks a 5-3 lead. But the Penguins really getting the power play rolling, tied the game. Randy Cunnyworth from Coffey and Lemieux at 10:25 on the power play. And then Dan Quinn with another power play goal from Lemieux and Zalapsky at 12:41 to draw Pittsburgh even in the game. The Blackhawks had 11 shots in the 2nd period. The Penguins had 17 shots, and a large reason for that, they had all the power play time. 5 unanswered power plays for Pittsburgh, or 4 rather, 4 unanswered power plays for the Penguins in the 2nd period. And so each team now with a total of 23 shots on goal. News, weather, and sports coming up on the radio. On television, a feature on the headgear worn by today's goaltenders. At the end of 40 minutes here in the Civic Arena, the Blackhawks 5, the Penguins 5.
In the Civic Arena, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins 5, the Chicago Blackhawks 5. Other scores around the league: Minnesota and St. Louis, no score in the first period. Boston playing the Islanders 2-2 in the 2nd. Hartford giving it to Buffalo 5-0 in the 3rd. Philadelphia in Washington in a Patrick Division battle there. Washington ahead 3-2 in the 2nd period. Quebec ahead are playing in Calgary, an 8:35 start, no scores yet. New York Rangers, tied with these same Pittsburgh Penguins for first place in the Patrick Division, are playing out in Vancouver. And Winnipeg playing against Gretzky, Bernie Nichols, and the rest of the Los Angeles Kings at the Forum. That's a 9:35 start. We'll update you on scores as we receive them. Here, after 2 periods of play, it's the Blackhawks 5, the Penguins 5. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after these messages. It's the Penguins 5, the Blackhawks 5. Not too long ago, goalies faced shots without the use of a mask. Masks have come a long way since their inception, and they are now part of the goaltender's personality.
Was the first to popularize the use of the face masks. The early ones were poorly ventilated, causing the goalies to perspire too much. Gradually, over an evolution of years, Plante had developed fiberglass and plastic masks that were light in weight, but could still withstand the force of most shots. A goalie wanting one of those 1960s or 1970s masks would have to endure the pouring of plaster on his partly covered face. This was done so that the mask would fit perfectly, tailor-made. And after all the plaster had set, he emerged white-faced and impersonal, ready to deal with the banana stick slap shots of Bobby Hull. But on a Halloween night in 1969, a goalie named Doug Favell, shown here in a striped model, painted a mask solid orange. With that, the gates were raised, and these guys who had lost their identity inside a mask were getting it back through the outside. Jerry Cheevers of the Bruins had the trainer paint the stitch marks he would have gotten without a mask. And then Ken Dryden's famous Canadian's mask resembled a target. Still other masks were a hybrid of the foundryman and the carpenter. It's hard to fathom why the men who don 35 pounds of equipment and walk into the goal wouldn't want even more armor than this, just plastic and some leather and some paint. But even the scariest of masks doesn't appear to hide the fear that the wearer reluctantly admits he must endure. Eyes that peered through these holes resemble those of Halloween characters, widened with anticipation, narrowed in reaction to either success or failure. Goalies wouldn't consider a return to the time when nothing separated them from the puck but flesh and bone. But while newer masks were designed to protect the throat, some still said it was too much trouble and went without. And as the 70s turned to the 80s, a new development, a wire cage. Billy Smith was the first to experiment with a cage 5 years or so before. Slowly, the veterans and the youngsters adopted the wire model. These were also very simple masks at first. Not too much paint on them, occasionally an emblem. Then came a combination of wire and plastic, a hybrid of the full cage and the old face mask. And with that, Grant Fuhrer's Oiler Gusher mask. And in Philadelphia, the tree branches for the Flyers' Mark LaForest. The end product of all this, a secure covering for the guy who has to react quickly, scramble, scrap, and hang on. Face masks, good at keeping out the pucks, though sometimes not so good on ice shavings.
Masks have come a long way since Jacques Plante started wearing that protective device. Jerry Cheevers had a neat idea, painting stitches where he might have been cut, if not for the mask. And I think Darren Pang is one of the sharpest one ever with a full Indian headdress. After 2 periods of play, it's the Penguins 5, the Blackhawks 5. Stay tuned. Pat and I will be back to look at highlights of the second period after these messages.
To tie up the Penguins by a 5-5 count. We have 5 goals to show you in that second period. I'm going to wind you up. Let's go.
Let's go. That's for sure. The Blackhawks at 128. Paul Coffey just gives it away and then skates away. For unknown reason, he leaves Sanapas alone to score. And Sanapas gets his third at 128. That made it 3-3. And then at 4:01, the Blackhawks with a great pass. After an errant Pittsburgh pass, Vince Cellette with some work along the boards, taking the hit to get it to Conroy, who passed it to Presley. It looked like it might have been offside, but it was right onside. Presley fakes and slips it under the right arm of Brasso at 4:01. Conroy and Vince Cellette get the assist on Presley's 5th goal. That made it 4-3. And then at 9:40, the Penguins on the power play. Steve Larmer once again steals it from Lemieux. Coffey, in his attempt to pinch in, falls. It's a odd man situation for the Blackhawks. Dennis Savard in a 3-on-1. Fakes the slap shot. Trent Yanni cut up with the play beautifully. He accepts it, holds onto it. Brasso moving out of the net, and he beat him high with a wrist shot under the crossbar. At 9:40, Yanni's 4th from Larmer and Savard, and the Hawks had a 5-3 lead, 5 unanswered goals for the Blackhawks. But then penalties hurting the Blackhawks in this second period. The Penguins had 4 straight in the second period. They score back-to-back power play goals to tie it up. Waite makes a save. Cunneyworth, nice effort there to kick it to his stick and let the backhand shot go past Jimmy Waite to make it 5-4 at 10:25. And then at 12:41, Zalapsky to Lemieux, Lemieux to Quinn. It took about 2 seconds up the ice, a full length of the ice. Quinn snuck in behind and beat Jimmy Waite to tie the score. That was Quinn's 15th, the goal coming at 12:41. Great passing by the Penguins, but the Blackhawks really got the short end of the stick in that period as they had to kill off 4 straight power plays by the Penguins.
The key of this game is going to be coming up at the start of the third. Almost a full 5-minute power play for the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll have that in a moment. It's 5-5 after 2. Pittsburgh, along with former Blackhawk and former Penguin Dale Talon, ranking 91st on the all-time scoring list for Pittsburgh. Look at that. What a beautiful mugshot as a Penguin several years and several donuts ago.
They took that off my driver's license, that picture.
I wish they had the side view there where you could maybe see those nice mutton chops you guys used to wear.
Not then. That was out of style.
5-5 here as we get ready for the third period, and the key to the game could well be right here. The Blackhawks with 4:49 of a power play and a major penalty called to Cunningworth in an altercation near the end of the second. And so the great opportunity here for Chicago.
Depend on WBBM for the exclusive AccuWeather forecast around the clock. Chicago's most accurate weather information from AccuWeather, only on WBBM News Radio 78. And a reminder, after tonight's game, stay tuned for the Dave Baum Show. Dave talks with the day's newsmakers and you on the Dave Baum Show on WBBM News Radio 78. It wasn't too long ago. It was a 3-3 game at the Montreal Forum, and the Hawks had a 5-minute power play. They didn't score on it. The Canadians went on to score a couple of goals late in the period and win the game, and the Hawks haven't won since.
All right, here we go. The draw to the Penguins, and Dykstra clears. Well, and you got to figure Doug Wilson must be hurting. He's not out there to start this period on the power play. Wilson breaking a finger not long ago. There's Larmer on the right wing boards. His pass deflecting into the Penguin zone, and it's ruled an offside play anyway. In fact, looking, oh, there's Wilson now coming out for Chicago, but you mentioned it earlier. He's had maybe, what, 5 or 6 shifts the entire night.
He had 2 in the second period. One early, one late.
The real difficulty for Wilson with that finger, it's on his left hand, his power hand, the shooting hand. And that, of course, one of the big weapons on the Hawk power play is his tremendous shot. And we saw it early in the game. The first good scoring chance of the game was for Doug Wilson, and he cranked it several feet wide. He clearly is playing in some difficulty, but a measure of his character that he remains in the lineup.
Also, the Blackhawks have had other numerous chances in this hockey game, and Steve Larmer especially, and he's missed the net 3 or 4 times.
Now the draw at center ice, controlled by Wilson. He gave it to Conroy. Up the boards to Thomas, who shoots it in. Barrasso fired it to the far side. Wilson unable to hold it at the line. Lemieux got away. Here's Lemieux into the Hawk zone, moving in for Erie. He scores! A short-handed goal for Pittsburgh, and the Penguins grab the lead at 6-5.
What a pass from Mario Lemieux. Flipped it over the stick and right onto the tape of Erie, who just advanced it past Jimmy Waite. Barrasso cleared it around the boards. Troy Murray was unable to intercept it. Doug Wilson couldn't keep Lemieux at the line, and he just flipped it over the defenseman Conroy right onto the tape. That thing was about a foot in the air, 6-8 inches in the air. He just flattened it right onto the tape. Great feather pass, right on the money, and Erie advanced it.
How tough is that to do? He put it up over the stick and laid it flat right on the receiver's stick. I mean, that is... You played. I don't know if you can describe how difficult that really is.
It really is. A lot of times you flip it over, the puck will go on edge and bounce, but that just flipped it up in the air and landed flat right on the tape.
Boy, oh boy, Lemieux at his best. They've talked about a mini slump for Lemieux, 4 points in his last 4 games. How about 5 points tonight? And here's the draw to the Penguins, and they clear. A goal and 4 assists for Big Mario. Hawks still on the power play now. Here's Manson trying to center one. Didn't get it through Dykstra. They battle in behind the net. Larmer dug it loose to the line, and Manson put it across to Yanni. Gave it to Savard. Back to the line, and Yanni again to Savard. Savard far circle to Yanni. Back to Savard. His shot and a save. Rebound. Larmer couldn't control it, and Barrasso makes the save. Larmer tried to kick it forward to his stick. Couldn't complete the move.
Savard let it go through a screen. The rebound to Larmer is at his right skate. He tried to kick it. Came off his skate too quickly for him to get the stick on it, and he was unable to reach it. And Dykstra was there to prevent him from getting to it. Sometimes that puck comes off softly and you're able to control it. That time just squirted away from him, and he was unable to pull the trigger, and it slipped under Barrasso. Well, Larmer's been snake bitten the last couple of games, the number of chances he's had.
Just over 3 minutes remaining on the Hawk power play. But the Penguins with a short-handed goal to answer the shorthander the Hawks scored earlier. Pittsburgh has grabbed a 6-5 lead. Face off to the left of Barrasso. The draw to the line, Manson. Do it across for Yanni. Up the boards to Savard. Trying to center it. Here's a shot. Hit the side of the net from Sutter. Thomas got it to the far corner, Savard. Dennis Savard rolled it in behind the net. Barrasso swats it to the near board. Manson tied up. It's cleared away to Lemieux. Look out now. Might be another 2-on-1. Lemieux cuts in. Centered it. Manson got back to pick off the pass beautifully. Now a lead doesn't click. Stolen by Hillier, and he cleared. 2.5 minutes for the Hawk power play. Manson puts Savard over the line. Weaving to the far side, shooting, and a save by Barrasso, and he gives no rebound, and then Graham run over by Bork. He may get a penalty. The Hawks should be backing off here. I think the Penguins are going to be 2 men short unless the Hawks get a little too excited. It looked as if referee Maroelli pointed Bork to the penalty box, and the Hawks trying to come to the aid of their own player. Let's see if they get one as well.
I think Savard is going to nullify that opportunity for a 2-man power play. Graham was knocked down out well after the whistle by Bork. It was going to be a penalty, a 2-man advantage for the Blackhawks, and Savard came flying in after. Here, Graham just hit after the whistle, definitely a penalty. Maroelli called it, and Savard came in and gets a penalty for what? I don't know. He just came in to the melee, and he'll get a penalty to offset the Bork penalty.
With a score, Pittsburgh 6, Chicago 5. Back in a moment on Sports Vision and BBM.
Play, Savard cranked it up. Barrasso struggled with it, finally located it. Graham came in, didn't do anything, just stopped, and then Bork flattened him. A penalty called. Maroelli put the arm up, and then Savard came in and tried to get a poke, take a poke at Bork, but he was held away by the Penguin player. But Maroelli ruled that it was enough for a penalty. Tough call for the Blackhawks. They would have had a 2-man advantage.
And he just as badly, of course, the Hawks are going to miss their trigger man here on the rest of this power play, which has 2.5 minutes to go. Here's the draw. Bouncing loose to center ice. Now Troy Murray shooting it in. Thomas to the near corner, trying to roll it around behind the net. Took another bad hop off those end boards. It's taken by Erie, and he cleared. Manson, his pass nearly picked off. And the Hawks have to regroup in their own zone. Trent Yanni starts Troy Murray away. He feeds Thomas. Thomas into the Penguin zone, stops on the near side. Dropped it for Manson, again to Thomas along the board. Thomas hanging on. Penguins pack in the box deeply. Here's a long shot from Manson. Barrasso gloving it through traffic, and he holds on.
Thomas wanted to pull the trigger from a sharp angle. The defenseman went down, faked the block, forcing Thomas to pass it to Manson. Manson just had to wrist it towards the net, hoping for a deflection. Didn't hit anyone, and went right to the glove of Barrasso. 1:29 remaining. In the Hawks' worst scenario, they had a 5-minute power play. They give up a shorthander, and they've yet to score on the man advantage situation on the 5-minute fighting penalty to Hannon.
1.5 minutes left on the power play. The draw to Barrasso, and he clears it himself. Dave Manson ahead to Sanapass, clearing to Graham over the line, leaves for Sanapass, the long shot, blocker save by Barrasso, and the Penguins clear. Lemieux picks off a Wilson pass right out of midair. Mario maybe only a shade behind Gretzky is the best forechecker in the game. Now here's a lead pass, almost decapitated Graham. And the Hawks look to move in, and Sanapass is 20 feet offside. And without Savard, boy, this power play, and Savard and Wilson, the power play just doesn't seem to have it.
What a turning point this might be. 47 seconds still to go on the power play. The Hawks with very few scoring chances on this entire 5-minute chance. Could have had a 2-man power play as well. Instead, they lose Savard for 2 minutes. As he and Bork get offsetting penalties at 2:21 of the third period.
Now the draw. Quinn clears. Mike Eagles to center ice. He hammers it in. Sutter to the far corner. Bounced it back in the net. Noonan looking to center one. Nobody in front for the Hawks. Penguins clear. One more rush on the power play. Conroy shooting it in. Dykstra hammered it to the near side. Bouncing to the line. Held in by Noonan. Into the corner, Sutter. His shot from a bad angle and a save by Barrasso. The Penguins look to clear and do get it to center. Now Lemieux racing. Gets to it. Kicks it ahead to a stick. Shoot! And a save by Waite. Mario Lemieux corralled a bouncing puck brilliantly. And now Lemieux going down, but the play goes on. As the penalty over, both teams are back at full strength. Here's Barrasso taking a whack at Sutter, and that goes unwhistled. Now the Penguins clear it into the Chicago end. Manson on the far side turning. Had it taken away by Lemieux. Waiting for help. The trailer is Quinn. And he's covered up in the corner by Murray nicely. Manson, the right wing boards Graham. Bounce it ahead to Murray over the line. Murray with the near corner against Zalapski. Now Thomas in after it. He's tied up by Cullen, then Thomas dug it out, trying to center it, and Cullen recovered to steal that. Steps around to check. John Cullen leads the rush. A long flip shot, and Waite gloves it easily. Well, the Penguins not only kill a 5-minute Hawk power play, they score a shorthander in the process. Oh boy, this road trip at the beginning of it and at the end of it. 5-minute power plays. Killing Chicago, and it was the Hawks that had the power play. Now in the Pittsburgh zone, Steve Dykstra throws it up the middle. It slides down the length of the ice, and this will be icing against the Penguins with 13.5 to go in the third. Pittsburgh 6, Chicago 5 on Sports Vision and BBM.
Trailing 6-5. The good news is there's still 13.5 minutes to go in the hockey game, and the Hawks have been battling back. They trailed 3-0 in the early going, fought back. They had a 5-3 lead midway through the hockey game, and 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal of.
Here's Conroy, a shot, rebound, shot wide as Larmer tried to rip one as he was falling and just shot it wide. Savard won a draw. Barrasso with a good save on Conroy. Well, the Penguins didn't have a play. They just fire it down into the Hog zone. Keith Brown back.
Why was that not icing?
Good question. Here's Savard. To the line, had it taken away. Now Keith Brown at center will dump it in. Lines all the way around the boards, back into the Hog zone. Now a fight behind the play. Santa pass, and Jay Caulfield wrestling at center ice. Caulfield, a tough customer, got in a couple of lefts, a short left. Now they wrestle along the boards. Wrestling in close quarters. Jay Caulfield and Everett Santa pass, and down they go. And now the linesman able to separate them with just under 13 minutes to go in the third. Pittsburgh 6, Chicago 5 on Sports Vision and BBM.
Sure. The power play didn't get many chances, but they get one off the draw. Savard the shot. Larmer on the rebound just shot it wide. And after that chance, Santa pass and Caulfield get involved in an altercation. And guess what? The Blackhawks get the instigation penalty, and they'll be short once again. It appeared to me that they were both willing at the same time to drop the gloves and go at it. But the Hawks will be short-handed for the 8th time in the game. The Penguins are 3 for 7 on the power play. Also, they have a short-handed goal.
Meanwhile, how did things go for the Buffalo Sabres tonight? One of the lowest scoring teams in the league, the Hartford Whalers, shut out Buffalo 9-0.
Also, Washington knocked off Philadelphia 4-3.
All right, here's the Penguins on the power play, but Murray wins a draw, feeding Graham. Dirk Graham motors over the line. Here's the shot. A weak one went wide. Murray chases it down and then was tied up, and Zalapsky takes over. Now Paul Coffey up the board to Lemieux. Manson had him well covered. Back in his own end, Coffey for Zalapsky. Now Quinn. And Dan Quinn bounces one in. Jimmy Waite shot it to the far side, and the Hawks able to clear. Coffey away to Rob Brown. Aiding Zalapsky. Steps over the line. Zarley Zalapsky turns on the near side. Put it to Lemieux. Far point to Coffey. Now along the boards, Rob Brown to Coffey. Near circle intended for Lemieux. Picked off by Larmer. Ahead for Savard. He cuts in, shooting. He scores! Dennis Savard, a short-handed goal. Ripped it by Barrasso on the short side. The stick side. The second shorty for the Hawks tonight. They've tied the game at 6.
And once again, Paul Coffey victimized. His pass intercepted by Larmer. Larmer, great pickup by Savard through the legs. And from the dot, just beat Barrasso through the legs, or maybe low to the stick side, we're not quite sure. But a big short-handed goal with 1:01 remaining on Santa Pass's instigation penalty. Right through the pipes. Savard's first goal in his last 7 games.
10th goal for Savoir-Faire, assisted by Larmer at 8:12. And Larmer started the whole play by picking off the pass that was intended for Lemieux. He diagnosed what the Penguins were trying to do and then sent Savard away.
Well, Larmer's been brilliant defensively and anticipating and intercepting passes.
Here he steals another one in the Chicago zone and clears it down all the way.
Larmer has 2 assists, 2 great assists on both shorthanded goals, but he's also had 4 or 5 great chances that he just shot wide.
Zarley Zalapsky lost it as he came to the line. Graham trying to move back. And he's forced to drop it to Conroy, who clears. And one more rush on this Pittsburgh power play. There's John Cullen on right wing over the line. Rolls it in deep for Bork. Bill Bork back of the net took a hit, then Cullen dug it out to Lemieux. Lemieux along the near board. Put it to the deep slot. Here's Hillier, a shot and a save by Waite. Rebound, chopped just wide. Now the Hawk penalty is over. But Lemieux in behind. Now works to the corner. Put it to the line, and Penguins hold it in. Here's a long shot from Dykstra. That's up off the glass. Both teams are at full strength, but the Penguins keep the heat on. Lemieux with a bouncing puck. It rolled up over his stick, and that allows the Hawks to clear it. Dykstra tied up as he came to the line. Now back into the Penguin zone. Johnson got help from Dykstra, who cleared it ahead. Now the Penguins, Hannon trying to move into the slot, tied up, knocked off the play. And back at center, the Penguins regroup with Johnson, who shoots it in. Halfway through the third period, a seesaw game is now tied at 6. Out into the Pittsburgh zone, Thomas got help from Noonan. Cleared it in behind the goal. And Hannon takes it away. Clearing to Richard Zemlak, who shot it to center ice. And Noonan back into his own zone. Hawks clear it into the Pittsburgh end. Rob Brown on the right wing boards. Got it to center. Cullen shooting it in. Zalapski put it into the near corner. Cullen now trying the return pass. That's broken up. Now Zalapski got to it. His long shot well wide of the target, and Sutter got it to center ice. Finally corralled by the Penguins. Zalapski put it into the center ice area. Rob Brown trying to dump it in, couldn't do it. And Manson the other way. Had his pocket picked nearly, then Sutter carries on and shoots it in. And Zalapski for Pittsburgh. Works his way to center. A feed for Lemieux. Cuts over the line, then lost the handler. He was in, and Brown tied him up. Back comes Steve Thomas on left wing. Thomas gains the line for Murray. Shooting. Barrasso the save. Rebound to the near side. Graham was tied up along the boards. Out comes Lemieux. He cleared it to the right wing side. And the Penguins dump it in deep. Murray poked it to the near board. Coffey held it in. Now kicked away from him to center ice. Buskis got it to Quinn, shooting it into the near corner. Dirk Graham looking to clear it, fires at the length of the ice, and the Hawks will take an icing call here. With just under 8 minutes to go in the third, Chicago 6, Pittsburgh 6 on Sports Vision and BBM.
Our next Bulls game on Sports Vision will be Friday at 7:30 when the Bulls host the Milwaukee Bucks. Game time is 7:30 on Friday on Sports Vision as the Bulls meet the Bucks.
Face off to the right of Waite. Here's the draw to the line. Coffey, the long shot, and it deflects up high. Now Eagles slides it out to center ice, and the Hawks dump it in. Oh, Coffey nearly coughed up another one in his own zone. Boy, Coffey has really had an off night at the Penguin defense. Now here's Vive poking it in behind the goal. Hillier tied up by Noonan, who steals. Noonan on the far side, avoiding a check. Now finally knocked off the play, and now the whistle sounds and a penalty is coming up, and the Penguins are going to be a man short. The Hawks with a power play chance, 7 minutes to go, 6-6 on Sports Vision and BBM.
Randy Cunningworth gets a tripping penalty, upended Rick Vive in front of the Penguin net. Penalty coming at 12:58, and the Blackhawks with a chance here to go in the lead on their 4th power play. Their last power play was a 5-minute power play, and it was a disaster.
Rick Vive to the far point. Yanni, now Savard along the boards. Rolled it into the corner. Vive to Savard, now to the line, and Yanni fakes a long shot, now takes it. It's blocked up the defense, and the Penguins clear.
Tough to deflect those shots, especially if they're up around your shoulders.
Yanni now shooting it in. Cleared to the far side. Vive trying to hold it in. Couldn't do it as it bounced away, and Lemieux clears. Dave Manson. His bank pass picked off by Hillier. Down it goes. Now Yanni feeds Savard on the move. He gains the line. Savard on the far side for Larmer. His shot right on, and a save by Barrasso, and he covers.
Not much on that shot. Savard with a quick drop pass to Larmer, but Larmer was fading to his left as he let it go back to his right. He didn't get much on it. It was on target, but Barrasso made the save, and Barrasso very shaky in the net. Every shot he seems to be struggling with.
Since coming to Pittsburgh, Barrasso a record of 4-2-1 and a .368 goals against. You do a double take when you realize this man's only 23 years old. He seems to have been around for forever almost.
He had a great second half last year. His play put Buffalo in the playoffs.
A minute remaining on the Chicago power play. Face-off will be to the right of the Penguin goal. John Cullen, who played at Boston College, or Boston University rather, for 4 years, gets ready to go on the draw against Troy Murray. Cullen, who signed as a free agent with the Penguins, has proven to be a good find for them. Here's the draw. Cleared to the near corner. Hannon put it to the far side. Wilson holding it in to the corner. Got it to Graham. Back to the far point. Murray. Troy Murray near side to Conroy. Up the boards for Thomas. He's tied up along the boards. Hannon stole it and cleared it. One more rush on this Chicago power play, and now a two-line pass taken by
the guy standing still, especially on the outlet situation. There's only one guy back getting the puck. The rest of the guys are just standing and watching. No movement or motion at all, and they've had difficulty getting out of their own zone as the Penguins are very aggressive, and that's been easy for them. On the power play, you got to work harder than any other situation. The pressure is on you, definitely. You have to figure the man advantage, you should score. Penalty killers really, if they score, they say, well, we're a man short, so they really don't have the pressure that the power play has. The power play, you got to hustle back in a hurry and get going and all coming out together.
the draw controlled by the Penguins. Clearing it back to the Chicago net. Here comes Wilson. Long feed for Thomas. Clearing it over the line, and Gord Brossiger called it offside. Looked like a pretty good rush from here.
Steve Thomas tried to pass it to Savard. He was right next to Savard. The pass deflected off the skate right back. The rule was an offside call. Thomas trying to bouncing puck to Savard. Savard deflects it. No way that was offside. We have the benefit of the replay, and the officials don't. It's a very tough decision for those linesmen, and close calls they normally call offside.
Doug Wilson's pass picked off. Here's Johnson racing into the Hawk zone, trying to cut in. Down he goes. And the play continues as Manson bounces one to center. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh penalty is over. Both teams are back at full strength. Down to 5 minutes remaining in the third period. This game tied at 6. Here comes the Penguin rush. Quinn right in. Wait, a big save. Dan Quinn with a brilliant move to avoid a check, and Jimmy Waite came up big. Now Wilson the other way. Takes a long shot. Barrasso put it to the corner. Bill Bourque has it there. Then lost it to Larmer, centering. Noonan couldn't get to the loose puck. Keith Brown does. Put it in behind the goal. Now Hilliard to the far side. Took a hit from Noonan. And Cullen able to roll it loose to center ice. Rob Brown in over the line. And Keith Brown able to knock him off the play. Back come the Blackhawks as Sutter hits the Pittsburgh line. Shooting it in deep. Zalapski, his feed missing Cullen, sliding into the Hawk zone, and this is going to be an icing call against Pittsburgh. Under 4 minutes for regulation time. 6-6 on Sports Vision and BBM.
You think you've got him tied up. He still has the presence of mind to dump it off to Quinn. Quinn fakes around Manson, and Jimmy Waite, well, the net got a piece of it with the left arm and deflected it wide. Game-saving save there by Waite.
Now Zalapski knocked down on top of the puck in his own end. And the draw will be to the left of Tom Barrasso. Ryan Noonan out there along with Sutter and Mike Eagles. The Hannon line on for Pittsburgh. Now ready, and the draw over to the far side. Cullen. He chops it back into the Chicago zone. Mike Eagles is back. Up the boards to Dwayne Sutter, returning to Eagles. Eagles with a long drive, a bouncing puck. He shot it up off the glass. Now they battle on the far side. Sutter came up with it, moves in front, shoots one. Barrasso the save. Rebounds Zalapski. And he shovels it up over the glass and into the crowd.
Good pick there set by Eagles as Sutter was allowed to come from behind the net and try to stuff it. Barrasso stood his ground and made the save, and the rebound in the corner, and Zalapski's clearing it. With that puck bouncing more and more with every shift as the period winds down. Tom Barrasso has faced 33 shots in his last 5 games. He's faced 36 shots a game. In their last 10 games, the Penguins have been outshot by a wide margin in every game by at least 12 shots a game.
St. Louis leading Minnesota 1-0 in the third period of their game. The North Stars, a red hot bunch. What have they won? 4 or 5 in a row? 4.
Washington beating Philadelphia. Hartford winning 9-0 over Buffalo. That's a final. Calgary 1-0 over Quebec in the first. Calgary hasn't lost, what, 12? Only 1 tie in those 12 games or 11 games. Montreal's only lost twice in their last 18 and only 2 ties.
Here's the draw. Yanni a long blast, didn't get through the traffic. Graham battles to the corner, tries to center. It's picked off. Then Thomas put it in front, and Murray too well covered. Out come the Penguins. Dan Quinn waiting for some help, turns at center, flips it ahead to Lemieux. Thomas tied him up nicely, and Troy Murray took it away to Manson. Dave Manson sliding it in. On the far side, Murray got to it. Bounce one to the corner. Jim Johnson put it to the near side. And Lemieux deflects it to Bob Airy. His pass broken up at the Hawk line. Yanni gave it to Troy Murray with 2.5 minutes to go in the third period. Hawks, for some reason, are not called for icing as Murray just missed connection on a pass. Now Coffey the other way to the line is tied up. Taken away by Savard. Dennis Savard works it over the Penguin line. He's spun around by a Hillier hip check. And Coffey gets it away to Cullen. Cullen stopped by Keith Brown. Now the Penguins able to dump it in. Steve Conroy clearing to the near side. Cullen tied up along the boards, then Bork dug it out. But his pass stolen by Everett Sanapath. Ahead to Steve Larmer. Larmer hits the line, leaving for Savard. Savard trying to move in front, tied up by Bork. Now another Penguin joins, then Sanapath helped out, centering. Larmer at his feet, he can't find it. And he's knocked down on a penalty coming up here to the Penguins. Steve Larmer, it seemed like in between the rings forever, had all sorts of difficulty finding the puck. It was right at his feet, but he couldn't get to it because Paul Coffey was draped all over him.
A puck just totally on edge. It never seems to be flat. It hits him in the skate, deflects up off his shin, and as he tries to get it, Paul Coffey down on his knees at his arms draped around him, and the Blackhawks, with 1:21, will have a chance to win the game on the power play. This is their 5th of the game, included in those 5, a 5-minute power play. Hawks have the 1 power play goal, and they have 2 shorthanded goals.
Meanwhile, the Penguins have scored 3 times on their power play, and they also have a shorthander. Well, if you joined us late, it's been quite an evening. The Penguins scored on their first 2 shots. They were ahead 2-0 after 1.5 minutes. Darren Pang lifted in place with Jimmy Waite coming on to take his place. The Penguins scored again. They led 3-0 after 5 minutes of play. And the Blackhawks have rallied to tie this game. Since it was 3-0, the Hawks then scored 5 unanswered goals through the middle part of the second period. Pittsburgh tied it before the period was over, and now each team has scored 1 shorthander here in the third period. And here are the Hawks with a chance to break a long drought in the victory column. Needing to cash in on the power play right here. Manson in the deep slot. Here it comes. Blocked at the defense. Karam's into the far corner. Now Larmer to Wilson at the line. He put it across to Manson. Bounced outside the line. Hawks will have to regroup. 67 seconds to go. Here's Savard shooting it in. Dykstra put it to the far side. Wilson held it in. Then Johnson looking to clear. Wilson again kept it in to Vive into the deep slot. Here's the shot. It rolled off the end of a stick. Larmer centered. It may have hit the post. Off a deflection, but out comes Lemieux. Lemieux 1-on-2, and he had the Jets going, but Wilson able to stop him beautifully. Then his pass deflects. At center ice, finally corralled by the Penguins. Here's Lemieux. Mario Lemieux in over the line, looking to split the defense. Now centered it. That hit a skate. 30 seconds for the third period. Here's Vive over the line on right wing, leaving for Larmer. Larmer rolled it in behind the net. Jumped free to the far side. Now a steal by Zalapski. Gave it to Hillier with plenty of time. He waits and clears. And it bounced to center, a breakaway. Here's Hannon right in for the game. He scores. Penguins win on their 3rd shorthanded goal of the game. What a unfortunate bounce for the Hawks. They tried to keep a clearing attempt in. It bounced off a glove at the line, right to Hannon at center. He had clear sailing, and it's 7-6.
But Hillier with all kinds of time, waited, and then just slapped it up the middle. Now Conroy went to glove it. It deflects off his glove right to Hannon, who was onside. Talk about bad luck. If it wasn't for bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all. And Hannon beats Waite with 5 seconds to go. Their second shorthanded goal, the fourth shorthanded goal of the game. seconds to go in the game, and Hannon buries it upstairs. A short-handed goal. Yanni scored a short-handed goal. Airy scored a short-handed goal. Savard scored one. And now Hannon, which appears to be the game winner. Boy, the Hawks can do nothing right. The power play gives up 2 short-handed goals in the third period, and it ends up costing them the game. Same situation in Montreal. They had a 5-minute power play in a 3-3 game. If they win that game, who knows what might have happened. And this will be their 8th straight loss, and 2 of the big losses in that 8-game losing streak coming with 5-minute power plays, and giving up a shorthander here to lose the hockey game. After Larmer's apparent feed across the goalmouth, looked like it might have hit the goalpost.
Boy, oh boy, you said it. Here, Conroy trying to do the right thing, trying to keep the heat on the tail end of the period. Looked like he was going to be able to keep it in at the blue line. It bounced off his glove.
And Hannon's onside besides. It was a good shot, too. I think it might have gone in off the post as he beat Wade high to the stick side.
The Penguins, scoring 7 goals in the game, scored 2 even strength goals, 2 shorthanders, and 3 power play goals. Boy, oh boy, there's the Blackhawks season in a capsule right there. They fall behind 3-0. A valiant effort to get back in the game, had the lead. Pittsburgh caught them, took the lead themselves. The Hawks again able to tie it up. They had a power play and a chance to win in the final minute and a half. And a bounce off a glove, and instead of Conroy keeping the puck in, teeing it up, he was wide open and would have had a chance to let one rip. Instead of that happening, it bounces off his glove, comes loose at center ice. Hannon's onside. There isn't a Hawk within 30 feet of him, and a perfect shot which appeared to have go off the post and into the net. Boy, oh boy, that's...
The Penguins are home this Saturday night.
Well, if it rained soup, the Blackhawks would have a fork.
Oh, it's a... You can laugh or cry. You might as well laugh, I guess, because what a disheartening loss. Some hurt more than others, but they're on this road trip. This will be the 8th straight loss. But on this road trip of the 6 straight losses on this trip, there'll be only 1 game in which they were blown out, and that in Boston. Other than that, good performances, but not quite good enough all the time, it seems.
The loss to Montreal that started this long streak, and then poor performance at home against Vancouver. And then other than that, the only other game, 2 of the 8 losses were bad performances. One against Vancouver at home and the other against the Bruins in the Boston Garden. And other than that, they've been in every game, and they had nothing to show for any of those efforts.
5 seconds left. Waits on the bench. Here's the face. Well, they're trying to get the face-off underway. And here it is, taken by Yanni. He hammers it in, and that'll do it. The Pittsburgh Penguins have stretched an undefeated streak to 7 in a row, while the Blackhawks have stretched a losing streak to 8 in a row. Believe me, this verdict could have very easily gone the other way. But with the bad luck, bad bounces, at times bad officiating, the Hawks could argue, but they have to look in the mirror in several areas, and included among those, special teams. That killed them in this game.
The power play was very weak, and also again some unnecessary penalties that hurt them.
In the third period, the Penguins scored a short-handed goal from Bob Airy, assisted by Lemieux at the 42-second mark. The Hawks tied it with a shorthander of their own. Dennis Savard's 10th of the season from Larmer at 8-12. But then the shorthander that spelled disaster, Dave Hannon scoring from Hillier at 19:55 to win the game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Shots on goal in the third period. The Blackhawks had 10. The Penguins had 6. The game totals 33 Chicago shots and 29 Pittsburgh shots. Final score, the Penguins 7, the Blackhawks 6. We'll wrap it up after this.
The Pittsburgh Penguins, thank you for attending. Good night, everyone.
Penguins beat the Blackhawks 7-6. Our Budweiser player of the game tonight with 2 assists, Steve Larmer. He did pick up the 2 points. Boy, if his radar was a little sharper tonight, he could have had 5 or 6. That's how many great chances he had. But the Blackhawks, if there's a more disheartening defeat this year, I fail to remember it at the moment.
We'll have to look back at the Detroit game. I would imagine that probably is a little more heartbreaking than this, but a lot of ifs on this road trip and a lot of ifs in this game. The first 2 shots went in. They trailed 3-0 after 5 minutes of play. I thought they dominated play the rest of that. And then their power play, they had a 5-minute power play in a tie hockey game, much like the game in Montreal. They give up a shorthanded goal. They finally score to tie it up on a shorthanded goal. Both teams with 2 shorthanded goals. And then the heartbreaker, 5 seconds to go, a shorthanded goal that prevented the Hawks from getting a point in this hockey game. Steve Larmer had a great night. Even though he only had 2 assists, he had a tremendous night. Killing penalty, stole it, got it to Savard, and Savard through the legs of Barassa to tie it up. Savard's 10th of the year at 8-12. And then the Hawks had a power play late in the game after they failed to capitalize on a 5-minute power play. A chance to win the game with a power play, 1:21 remaining in the game. They have a power play, and they just failed to capitalize on it. The puck comes around the boards, a bouncing puck, as it did throughout the entire game. Hilliard, ill-advised, goes up the middle instead of going up the boards. They're making the safe play, and then Conroy tries to glove it. It deflects off his glove to Hannon, who is onside, picks it up on a breakaway. The clock ticking away, and he beats Jimmy Waite for the game winner with 5 seconds to go. A heartbreaker there. The Hawks lose another one. They're 8th in a row, and 6 of the 8 losses. They were in all of those games. In a lot of these situations, what if? Dumb penalty, bad goal, or a failure to capitalize on a power play situation in a critical time in the game.
This has got to be the toughest time of a coaching from a coaching standpoint. You're trying to sell a program. You certainly can't. I don't think we can question the effort the Blackhawks have put forth in a great majority of their games this year, and yet not much success to show for it. So far, it's been very close, and yet no cigars.
It really has been frustrating. We've been watching it, and it's hard to explain to people they've lost 8 in a row that they haven't played that badly. They're going to say, well, look at their record. They can't be playing that well, but they've had some tough luck. They've got to just stick with it and forget about the past and go on from here and look for a win in Philadelphia on Saturday.
That'll be the next assignment for Chicago. The Blackhawks will take a record of 6 wins, 18 losses, and 4 ties into the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We'll be there on Saturday. Remember, an earlier start, an afternoon game, 11:50 with a radio pregame, and 12 noon on television. The final score tonight as the Pittsburgh Penguins stretch an unbeaten streak to 7 straight. Pittsburgh now in sole possession of first place in the Patrick Division behind a 5-point night from Mario Lemieux. Pittsburgh 7, Chicago 6.